Hello? At least I'm getting better at comments. Getting better. One sec, I'm just going to down some snacks here real quick. All right. Who's excited for 1010 today? Anybody? Anybody? I know I am. I'll get better at the mute eventually. I'm getting a little better. All right. So, we have a full day today, guys. We've got core inflation, regular inflation rate, CPI, jobless claims data. That's probably the bulk of it. Yeah, not much outside of that. It looks like tonight we get Fed balance sheet. And again, Argentina, inflation rate in Argentina at 2 o'clock. I'm actually really stoked about that. I want to see how things are doing with them. I'm really excited about that economy. I think they were up like 2.5% yesterday. That was sweet. Also, earnings this week. I just realized that TradingView has like this whole earnings calendar. We're going to look at that too. Blows my mind. Totally didn't even realize. Sometimes you just don't realize what tools you have available to you. But TradingView has so much good stuff. So I'm going to look at that. And I'm trying to find, if you guys know of any other like earnings related tools that do a really good job of like summarizing revisions and how they compare to previous earnings seasons and like really good technical data, let me know. I had a website a long time ago, but I lost it. I didn't bookmark it that I liked that provided a lot of great insights and kind of like their assessment of the current earning seasons versus previous and all this kind of stuff with great charts. Can't fucking find it. But so I got to get better at my organization. But if you guys think of anything that has that kind of information, I think having like a really high level summary of earnings related data would be super helpful for this channel. OpenBB Pro Terminal does that. Okay. All right. Let me just note that real quick. Check out OpenBB Pro Terminal for earnings related information. All right, and I'll show you what you can. Maybe you can take a look here too. When we pull that up, Alvaro, we can. You can take a look and tell me if it's similar to what TradingView already has, or if it's something that's going to be more insightful and like what I was talking about. That would be great. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys. CleanSpark hit. So a lot of things happening. CleanSpark hit their 30 exahash, still shooting for 50 in 2025. So still the boss out of the Bitcoin miners, in my opinion. We also have China's market bouncing. The Hang Seng went up a little bit. I posted some more stuff on X indicating that I think that's short-lived and they've got more pain ahead and that you're the exit liquidity if you're investing in it. And you can see that by foreign inflows into their market, or I should say investing in stocks that are outside of their market. But, you know, again, people think they're buying their market, right? So that's interesting. The Hurricane Milton, downgraded to a 3 before it hit land. Looks like it's going to hopefully, I mean, I can't say a nothing burger because if you're in Florida and part of your house got wiped out, like it's a big deal, right? But the sheer death and destruction that we were so worried about, especially with the turning south at the last minute, did not, in fact, happen. So this is great. And Biden, it's funny, Biden and DeSantis are actually getting along really well and throwing compliments back and forth in regard to each other. So it's very interesting to see what the politics of that are turning out to be. So tonight I'll probably start my stream with Tesla We Robot at 8:30 Central Time, so about a half an hour early. We'll probably look at what's going on we'll look at what's going on with the stock. We'll talk about some other things that have come up during the day, and then we'll jump into it. Super excited about it tonight. I'll be setting up the stream a little bit later here. I've got a very full day today. I don't know if I'll have a market recap. I might try. But I just have a lot of stuff going on in my life personally today. It's almost endless. So it's going to be booked pretty much all day. I had to cancel a lunch meeting too because I just don't have any time. But yeah, also oil. Oil is up 1% today. So it's gotten a little bit of a resurgence. I think that's going to be short-lived. And yeah, just lots of fun stuff to go over. So in about 23 minutes, we will take a look at some of this inflation data. It looks like we got Siegel talking about inflation on CNBC. I want to see what he has to say. Let me switch to live. I think our boy Jeremy Siegel here. He's always got interesting takes. I dig him, actually, a lot. So let me just go back and see where we start with Jeremy. There we go. Okay, we're going to listen to him real quick and see what he has to say about the data. And then we'll start jumping into other stuff. Today looks pretty good. It looks like a pretty positive start to the day. So we'll see if the CPI and jobs data ends up helping that. But let's go ahead and hop in here real quick. Let me just see. I'll see if I can. Oh, there we go. I think we're getting started.
Joining us now to talk markets is Jeremy Siegel. He is Professor Emeritus of Finance at the University of Pennsylvania's Wharton School of Business, also the Chief Economist at WisdomTree. And Professor, thank you for being here this morning. We've been kind of talking through what the Fed might do next based on those FOMC minutes that we got yesterday. It does not look like there's a clear consensus at this point. It does not look like Chairman Powell will necessarily be able to drive things the way he may want. And I guess you're someone who has been in favor of more rate cuts. Why don't you lay out your case for it? Because the data that we've seen recently doesn't really play into that. If you're looking at the jobs market, even if you're looking at what Bank of America's Institute told us this morning about the consumer based on the 69 million accounts that they have for consumers and small businesses, things look better than you might have anticipated just a month or two ago.
Yeah, I think for everybody, including Fed, it looks better.
If only somebody would have told us months ago that the inflation data was going to be fine. Actually, starting in March of last year, or this year. What is that? Half a year ago? So only somebody a half a year ago would have told us that inflation was not the primary concern. Oh, wait, I did.
I still believe, and the Fed believes, that we are still way in restrictive territory. Remember,
That's why I like Siegel. He knows what he's talking about. We are restrictive. We're too restrictive. We need to lighten the load.
They said the long-term Fed funds rate they want to go to is 2.9. That's 2 percentage points below where we are today. Now, I actually think it's higher. I think it's probably 3.5.
I agree. That's it. That's probably the terminal rate or whatever.
Where we will eventually go to. When I just looked at the Fed funds markets, when I backed out risk premiums, it looks like about 4 more cuts to the middle of next year, which means maybe alternate 25 basis points and a pause. But let me say the following: some people say, "Oh, we should stop now. Things are great."
Nope.
I think that's very dangerous. First of all, if you think that the Fed funds rate is at the right level now, which is right very near 5%, then that means that the 10-year is going to 6%. And mortgage rates 30-year fixed mortgages are going to go to 7.5%. And I don't think that the market is expecting that. So I think when you take a look at what the market is doing and saying is that, yeah, it's not as low as what the Fed says we're eventually going to go to, but it's still lower, much lower than we are today. Now we're going to get in a half an hour the CPI. I expect actually that the core rate might tick a tenth higher on the month over month than expected. I still think 1/10 for the overall, which would, by the way, bring the year over year overall all the way back almost to the pre-pandemic levels. So, I mean,
isn't that wild? Pre-pandemic levels.
We are almost there on the inflation. And the market is telling us, we need to go further, 25, maybe pause 25. But by the middle of next year, I think we should have a 3 handle on the Fed funds rate.
I agree.
A couple of things. First of all, year over year, you're still looking at anticipated CPI, the consumer price inflation of 3.2%. So that's still something to be a little concerned about. There are questions as to what a lot of things that we've seen recently will mean for the inflationary picture. You can talk about the hurricanes that have just hit. And then you've got issues about what happens when the ports come back in January. We've put off the strike for now. We'll see what happens to it. Got questions about what to expect from oil demand. What's wrong with the Fed saying, we're going to wait and see what happens over the next month or so?
Because we're too restrictive. He just said that.
Oh.
Right. Well, the Fed should not react to supply shocks, such as caused by the hurricane or caused by any hostilities in the Mideast that raise the price of oil by either keeping rates higher or raising rates.
Well, they got to react to inflation.
That would be doubly damaging, in my opinion, to the economy. Listen, we've had oil experts on that say that the oil prices have to be lower next year. That there's a lot of oil that could come online. I mean, we could talk about what potential if we take out Iran oil. Saudi Arabia has 2 million barrels that it said, well, we could bring that online. But supply shocks such as the hurricane, the dock workers, listen, if you can keep rates rising because groups oppose automation, I don't think that is the right place to be also.
100% agree.
So, when you take a look at the whole picture of where the Fed thinks the neutral rate is, and by the way, I look back to when they started looking at neutral rates, which is way back in 2012, and if we stop now, we would be at the highest neutral rate, far higher than anything that they had proposed over the last 12 years.
Yeah, so why would we want that? Why would we want to stop now? That's not happening.
And no economic model says that we should stop now and that the neutral rate is as high as it is. And as I said, if it is that way, then we all need to be prepared for much higher long-term interest rates. I was the one that said that when the Fed was very aggressive, we would not see a drop in those long-term rates. We'd see a rise because the Fed has taken recession risk off the table. I mean, not 100%, but largely off the table. And a lot of people buy that long bond as a hedge against recession. If the economy is going to be strong, long-term interest rates are going to be strong. They're going to go up. Everyone's that's waiting for the rates to go down. They're going to be very disappointed.
Professor Siegel, thank you.
Oh, they just cut him off.
At 8:30.
What bullshit. All right, we'll get back to that in a second. I'm watching the live feed anyway. So I do, on that vein of thought, let's just go back here a little bit. And yes, I do agree it is going to be a good day. Rumi, that's the right attitude to have on miners. They can make you sad over the short term, but you have to have that long-term focus. Good day to Scooter. And Oak is right. Jeremy Siegel is one of the better people to listen to on Wall Street. There's a lot more signal with him than noise. Real quickly, a few things. So Nick Timmeros, Nikki Leaks, he was just pointing out that he was pointing out the same thing Siegel was pointing out, kind of, that he believes the neutral rate is going to be around 3.3%, or at least that's what the culmination of all these major bank analysts think that is going to happen, and I agree with that. So another, 100 basis points down from here. So I do agree with that. I think that's true. On the U.S. economic front, I said people are getting very excited about oil, which means it's probably not the right time to be excited about oil. So you can see oil option trading booms. Average call trading over the last 10 days was record. Brent crude 10-day average call options volume. So again, these are call options. These aren't short options. People are betting that they're going to make a bunch of money off of oil. So I think that's probably not going to happen. Or if it does, it's going to be very short-lived. Also, today, the CPI expectations in 14 minutes until CPI-related data and inflation-related data. So it says, watch out for CPI tomorrow morning at 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central. Here's what Wall Street thinks the CPI will come in at via the Wall Street Journal. So you can see pretty consistently headline CPI of 2.3. I'd say that's consensus, right? Previous month was 2.5. And then core CPI, we've got 3.2 with previous month at 3.2. So core, we're expecting no change. I think that's probably true. We know that rent, I believe, and housing inflation are still going to be sticky. You got to remember, mortgage rates have not started dropping yet. We've still got that oscillation where we're trending higher, kind of what Jeremy was alluding to. So I could see that very much being the case and being close to these metrics. That's kind of I kind of expect things to come in line. We'll see if they come in hot. If they come in hot, I think bad news. If they come in hot, bad news is probably bad news today. So we'll see what happens, but it should be fun. Oak, nope, just a community member. Maybe Oak should be a mod. Good afternoon, Jesse and crew. Trey Gotti, morning, Jesse. Is there a lifetime membership for the Discord? No. I might do something like that. I don't know. I might do something like that. I had somebody else just ask about a year membership. Maybe I'll give a discount for a year or something. Lifetime seems weird because I don't even know what I can guarantee, man. I'm retired, so I don't know. But Trey's been around a long time. Trey's been around since the way back. But yeah, maybe I do something where I do a year and like do a discount. I don't know. I've got to figure out how to do that on WAP too. So you guys will have to give me a little bit of time. I'll add that to the list and try and figure it out. If I can do a year, I don't think I could do lifetime, but maybe a year. Okay. Good morning, good people. It's already cheap, brother. Once you realize the value you get for $12 max discount shouldn't come to mind. I do agree. I think if you subscribe to everything, YouTube for comments and better chapter. Oh, and hey guys, we are going to be, it's going to happen probably by this weekend. So we're going to be adding a bunch of stuff to the Discord. I'll be working on that. I'm also begging my wife to help me with testing out Descript. And with Descript, we should get our chapters. I should have a clean version for people who can't necessarily listen to stuff in real time and don't want to hear all the fucking F-bombs. They will have an opportunity to have a shorter version that takes out dead air, that takes out the uhs and the ums, that takes out all of my fucking cuss words. They're going to get all of that stuff. I'll still try and work on it. Obviously, I'm not doing very well, but I'm still going to work on getting better at that. But for people who want to avoid that stuff and don't need things in real time, maybe you can get an abbreviated version that has chapters, that doesn't have cussing, that just takes out a lot of noise. That's the goal. Like that that I just did. Take out one of those. Boom, poof, gone. And so we're going to be working on that. And then also I'm going to try and create some shorts so I can build up the channel. And we're going to be using something called Opus AI for that. Opus Pro, actually. All of my all my fucking cuss words. Yep, they'll be gone from the clean version. So that's the goal. That's the goal. We'll see what we can do. WinSmart CFA. If you're not following him, it's Winfield Smart. He's a good dude. He's got 58,000. He's a little behind me, but he's got some great charts and data. I might have showed something like this yesterday, but I wanted to talk to it again. It's earnings seasons have historically been positive for equities, with the S&P 500 rising an average of 2% the first 4 weeks of reporting. So again, just historically, these more often than not are better. And so far, gosh, can I do that real quick? Should I do that real quick? I'm going to do this. Trading view. We're going to break some stuff. The second I even look for it, it just breaks my other computers. So we're up 1% on Tesla today. I dig that. PayPal also, guys. There's some hate on PayPal. We'll talk about that a little bit later. We got essentially a downgrade kind of, and then we've reached the top from two different analysts, BMO and Bernstein, but it's all bullshit, and I wouldn't worry about it, and it's going to be very short lived. Okay, so let me see. I need to look this up actually. Trading view. I need to bookmark this bugger, man. Earnings. Is that it? Yeah, I think that's it. Did you guys know this was here? Did you guys know this? Did you guys notice this? I didn't know this. So anyway, I thought this was pretty cool. So we could see beats. We could see how companies are doing, if they're underperforming, if they're outperforming. I think you can sort this by all kinds of stuff. I need to play around with it. It would be really cool. It doesn't look like you can do it by sector, at least not in this screen. Not in this screen, but fascinating to be able to look at earnings information across all markets. Looks like they do have sectors and industries, but I think that's just separate stuff. Stock market sectors of the USA table overview, performance metrics such as market cap. Yeah, it doesn't show anything about earnings. Anyway, so this is kind of cool. I love finding new toys. And it looks like yesterday, if we look at some of the data on the earnings calendar, we can see that we got more surprises to the upside than down. That's pretty cool. And I wish they had last week. I wish they had that on here. But again, TradingView, the de facto standard for everything, guys. I am going to work on tools, though. Like I said, I'll check the OpenBB Pro. I do want to see if there's any tools whatsoever that I can find that will do really good analysis on earnings where we don't necessarily have to do a bunch of. So Jeremy Lafarve, he does this thing where he listens to all the earnings calls. That's cool. I don't have time for that shit. I'm retired, right? So I don't have time to listen to like 100, 80 hours worth of earnings calls in a week. I don't have I'm too old for that too. So I want to have something where there's really good analytics and where people that already do all this kind of stuff can paint the picture for me. And I know there's some sites out there, so I'm going to work hard to find them. And if you guys have any ideas too besides OpenBB Pro, I think it was, let me know. But I would love to. The whole goal of this channel is to get better tools. We need better tools so that my life is easier and you guys get better information and I save you time. So that's what we're going to keep shooting towards. Today, it looks like, let's see what all we have. We have AEHR Test Systems, Comtech, Biosystems, Progressive Insurance, Domino's Pizza, Tilray, Delta, just a bunch here. And it looks like the surprise for Delta was down a little bit. Domino's selling that pizza, man. They're slinging pizzas like crazy. They've done a really good job with technology, I got to say. Out of all of them, I want to say that I can't really eat pizza anymore, but I used to like Pizza Hut more. But Domino's has done a great job embracing technology, and it shows in their stock. But again, just a bunch of assortment of things. It looks like, I think as the week progresses, like tomorrow is a big day, right? Like tomorrow we get the banking stuff. That's going to be the real interesting one. That's where, so First Republic Bank, Wells Fargo, BlackRock, JP Morgan, the Bank of New York Mellon, Bank 7 Corp, Meritage Hospital. Like there's a decent amount of stuff tomorrow that should keep us busy. So I'm interested in that. So earnings will be interesting tomorrow. Pizza Hut has greasy crust. They do, but man, I love that greasy crust. Maybe that's why my stomach is so screwed. I don't know. Is there a correlation there? Maybe. I should probably do a better job. But yeah, so let's get back over to the economic stuff. So this will be interesting. We'll watch earnings. I'm gonna look for better tools. Lisa, and we got about 6 minutes, guys, until we get that CPI data. Going to be fun. Going to be a lot of data today. Again, 7:30, we just get a whole swath. We'll get CPI, inflation, core inflation, and jobs-related data all at once, just a big old dump. And so we'll have time to review that. And then at 11, we have mortgage rates. I think those could maybe even tick higher. I actually wouldn't be surprised if they tick higher, just based on what Jeremy Siegel's talking about. And really, I mean, Me2 and a lot of other people. So very excited about that. Just a little over 5 minutes from now. Let's keep rolling down the list, though. Lisa Abramovich, I like her too. She's a great follow. She's a very smart lady. So in here, she says, spreads on U.S. investment-grade bonds closed yesterday at the tightest since September 2021. The S&P also closed at its 44th record high of the year, with the strongest year-to-date return since 1997. DB's read. This is funny because I'm making comparisons myself to the fact that I believe we're in the 90s right now. Early 90s, mid 90s. And it says, investors seem worried in conversations, but not so much in practice. Isn't that interesting? Not so much in practice. Very fascinating. Let's keep going. Global money supply per bar chart. I love these guys. They gave me some of my first opportunities and retweeted me a bunch of times. So I'm very loyal to them. They got good stuff. I don't always agree with them. I'm usually on the other side of a lot of things. But Fidelity posted this. Global liquidity. This is from 10/6/2024, setting new highs. And we know what happens when global liquidity sets new highs. Things go up. I think I might have done this one yesterday. Yeah, I did, but it's a good one to look at. The conclusion of this election, I said, should open the floodgates. The uncertainty index is at the highest level we've seen since the mid-'80s. So I think that's probably signal there. I did, real quickly, jump over to PayPal. And I'll try and stay caught up on comments. Let's see here. Vibe says, lock in. Lol, Domino's app is badass. Dude, you can literally watch your pizza getting cooked. I mean, not like the pizza, but you can see each stage it goes through. I can't eat pizza anymore, but I just know that it was amazing. Yeah, so PayPal. So PayPal, Bernstein, downgraded PayPal holdings to market perform, lowering the price target to 70 from 75. So that's weird. That's not like, that's a strange post. I don't even know how accurate that is for the amount. It doesn't matter. So here's the gist. Whether it's 80 or 75, they're saying it topped, right? Because it was above that. Analysts report an average rating of outperform with a price target between 68 and 125. BMO Capitalist analyst Rufus Hone kept the market perform rating for PayPal holdings, raising the price target from 72 to 73. It was currently at 81.16. So they're still saying, oh, we'll go up if we have to. We'll chase a little bit, but we still think it's overvalued. So whatever. That's the thing, right? But here's the business. Here's the actual fucking business. So think what you want. Think what you want about PayPal, but the price is, what is the price at? What is the price of PayPal at? Let's just go back here. So the price of PayPal is back where it was in 2018. Okay, so here, when they had 13.8 billion in revenue and 2.2 billion in net income for the year, or operating income. And over here now we're over twice that. So we've more than 100% doubled that, and the price is back at that level. So, and then we're not even incorporating in all the stuff that's happening, the history that Alex Chris had with Intuit and how well he performed there, the brilliance of their badass CFO, and then all the stuff they're doing from the technology stack. Still need to work on the mobile app. Mobile app's bullshit. But the advertising stuff, a lot of things that they're doing. Again, I'm going to tell you the way that it's real. I'm not going to be like, oh, they do everything fucking great. The mobile app still sucks ass. There's like 20 fucking ways to send money and receive it. And I couldn't even figure out how to fucking pay somebody with not a QR code, but the NFC chip using my fucking PayPal. That's bullshit. I might have a conversation with Alex Chris about that. But this company is doing so much better. And here's the thing. It was doing better, still not innovating. Now they're actually innovating. They're closing silos. They're doing all the right stuff. So these guys up here are fucking morons. And that will be edited out of the clean version whenever we get around to doing that. But they're idiots. They're idiots. And they're missing the signal. Alex Chris, you asked, we delivered today. We're launching a highly recommended Venmo. I talked about this yesterday, but again, scheduling payments out in the future for bills, whatever else, they're trying to turn into the everything app. I love that. I love that. Sucks to suck. Sucks to be European. All right, you guys have interesting dialogue. Let's see here. Andrea, I'm Italian. If I end up not being able to eat pizza anymore, I'm dead. God, dude, I love pizza so much. It was literally my soul food. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Z's Kodak, smash the like button. I'm disappointed. Daniel Dibb, sucks for European investors. 1010 event is at 4 a.m. Ouch. I would wake up for that. I would get up at 3 a.m. and wake up for that. Screw work, man. You calling sick. Joseph Mock, what are we buying, fellas? Johnny Utah, sucks to suck. Joseph Mock, sucks to be European. I mean, it can, depending upon the country you're in. Disease Kodak, I'm buying CleanSpark calls. Joseph, Daryl Farrell, is the market waiting on PayPal for forward guidance to give them a higher multiple? The market just Here's the thing. When the analysts are going to think that PayPal is really doing great? When it's really doing great. That's how it works. All right, let's get over to it, guys. We got numbers coming out. We got numbers. Let's see what these guys say. And then we'll go from there. Yeah, PayPal's a great opportunity. I just don't want people to be shaken out by stupidity. But, I guess it's time.
Welcome back to Swap Box.
Rick,
Rick Santelli here live at CME HQ with the breaking news of the morning. Big news. CPI, the big inflation number for September, hitting the wires. Expected to see a headline up 0.1%, comes in up 0.2%. If you strip out food and energy, up 0.3%, which of course equals our last look. To find a bigger number, you have to go back to March when it was up 0.4. But do keep in mind, June was up 0.1, July was up 0.2. So this has been running a bit on the warm side. Now, if we look at year-over-year numbers.
All right, we're going to hold up there. I love Rick. We'll listen to the rest of his thoughts in a second. So the year over year, we came in hot. I mean, the consensus forecast for month over month was 0.2, and we came in 0.3. Core inflation year over year was 3.3, and the actual is what it came in as, and consensus was 3.2 and forecast was 3.1. So the inflation came in a little bit hotter. We need to see what the actual components of the inflation are. It says inflation rate year over year 2.4%, consensus 2.3, forecast 2.3. CPI September 315%. or 315, sorry, 0.3. And then forecast 314.90, 314.86 consensus. Initial jobless claims came in higher than anticipated. Not a great sign for today, guys. And then we had numbers higher on continuing and higher on jobless claims 4-week average. So really, all of these data points are bad. All of them. Now, they're not horrifically bad, but they're bad. So let's see. We're going to go to pre-market performance and see how the market is handling it. So it looks like a down day. Tesla was up 1%. Now it's 0.43. Let me actually just look at Bitcoin, see how it's doing. This would be a good time for Bitcoin to roll over. This would be a good time to go down here. So I still have like 45,000, I think, in cash and accessible funds. Just wait. People are digesting information. What we need to do is figure out what the actual signal is. Let's listen to the rest of what he has to
2.4,
say.
hotter than expected, but 1/10 cooler than the rear view mirror. And it continues the streak of these numbers year over year on the non-core moving lower. And if you look at 2.4, just like 2.5, it comps back to February of 2021. Now, if we look at what's going on with respect to year over year core, which starts to get into some very important numbers here, this one's warm as well. 3.3. 1/10 warmer than expected, 1/10 warmer than the rear view mirror. It equals June, but
All right, we're going to cheat. As much as I shit on Meet Kevin, there's like one thing he does well.
That's really interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna put a little X there. Why?
No,
are the
I'm not
airfares
rejoining.
moving up like that?
There's one thing he does really well, and that is going through the line items and the CP and inflation-related data, and I don't want to do that, so we're just going to watch him. So let's go back. All right, so let's let him talk for a second. We're going to piggyback off of his stream. God bless America.
So that gets a little silly. Like those index numbers he's talking about. I did end up getting the full report, so let's go through the actual report. The far right is going to be our August to September data. So let's go through.
No, you want. I've said this a bunch of times. So Siraj says, don't we want jobless claims to be higher for rate cuts? No. We're getting rate cuts. We get rate cuts no matter what. We got a plan for 25 bips in November and then also 25 bips in December. That's happening. We don't need to worry about that. That's the plan. But what we don't want is the job market to fall apart. I've been saying that for a long time. You don't want that. So if the job market falls apart, then we have a problem. We have a big problem. And then with inflation too. See, this isn't real. So let me put it this way. This isn't real as far as like us having real inflation concerns. But what I care about over the short term is the narrative that it prints, because you're going to see people like Alex just said here, higher that expectation. You'll see people who'll be like, oh no, now they can't cut rates because inflation's getting a little bit higher, but they need to because jobs are getting worse. We're seeing deterioration in jobs. So it creates this stagflation narrative that isn't real, but it's a narrative, and markets love to run off of narratives. Let's listen real quickly here, though, to what me Kevin has to say, since he's dialing through the line items.
Some of that miscellaneous personal services at 0.2. We've got, let's see here. There we go. Looks like financial services up 0.4. That's a little higher than usual in the same month.
It's all the lawsuits because of election season. No, I'm kidding, but maybe. I don't know. But yeah, that's where a lot of the inflation is. Isn't that funny? Financial services, checking account and other bank services, no. Tax return preparation and other accounting. So inflation is in tax accounting software and in legal services. Fun.
Month that we started offering financial advice at StockX.
No, laundry and cleaning services. Under miscellaneous personal services, it's really laundry and dry cleaning services and tax preparation software.
Sorry.
Funny.
It's a really good service, but it's not the cheapest.
Thanks, Siraj. Appreciate you, brother.
Other personal services, 0.1. Postage and delivery down.
All right.
That's fine.
I don't know if I want to just look at what his screen has here. So, because I don't get this report, I probably need to. College tuition and fees. Yeah, leave it to higher education to be the highest thing on this number. Look at this, 0.8. Daycare and preschool, 0.4. Elementary and high school tuition fees, 0.3. Leave it to education and daycare to be what's fucking people right now. This is just the definition of what's wrong with America.
9.1.1. None of this so far is really hot. Where I want to find out.
Right up here. Public transportation, 2.4. Airline fares, 3.2, which means airlines are busy. That's not a bad thing. If airlines can still demand a lot of money, that's not necessarily horrible at all. Let's see, intra-city transportation. Well, I think 1010 Robotaxi Day is going to fix that one. So we're good there. All right, interesting. So airlines, public transportation. We could probably blame this on New York City. They keep raising the rates because nobody pays the fees on the buses. People just walk onto them. It's fucking insane.
Yeah, where this is coming in.
We will look at him going through the rest of this report. Then we'll jump back over to Rick Santelli and those guys and hear the rest of what they have to say.
Recreation services, negative 0.5. Honestly, a lot of this so far is negative. Public transportation. Okay, what's going on here? Why is public transportation up 2.4? Is it all the government workers that were hired? No,
Probably.
It's airline fares. How? How are airline fares coming in this high when Delta this morning missed? That's really interesting. Okay, so I'm going to put a little X there. Why are the airfares moving up like that? That's a little odd.
That's a good point.
Motor vehicle fees. Okay, that's like government related.
Motor vehicle repair.
Parking and other fees? Are you serious? Jeez, motor vehicle fees, like parking and tolls, basically. Okay, car and truck rental at 1.2. Transportation.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of noise in this report, but we'll hop over to that in a second. Let's just hop over. I want to give Rick and the rest of these guys a chance to finish up. And then I'm probably going to be looking at other stuff here too. OK says, just like with earnings and stock screener, TradingView is an excellent calendar for all events. Dude, they're so good at everything. These guys are so great too. They reach out. Oh, Susan, thank you very much. 10, 10, 10. Yes, yes, yes. It's going to be amazing. Thank you for that huge tip. You're a sweetie. Yeah, I'm very excited about what's happening right now, guys. Why are you watching that clown? Because he's doing some work for me, Doug. Because I'm too lazy to pull up that report. And I know he has it right in front of him because that's what he does. And so it's my own laziness, bro. It's really that. All right, so let's get back to Rick here real quick and listen to him.
But of course,
and I will be doing some probably diving into to see, like he made a good point about Delta missing, but I thought I saw positive things about Delta's forecast. So we'll probably do some additional research here to see if we can uncover, some of these things like the airline fees and other things. And again, we'll go back to what he's doing too. Because even though he is a clown, you're right, Doug. Me, Kevin, can be a clown on his analysis. He's all over the place from day to day. But the data sheets he's looking at are actual facts. So it's all good.
Last 2 months have been 3.2. Now, finally, if we look at the indexes, and I think the indexes are very important, the index for the headline number, 315.301, another all-time high. If you look at the core, 320.76, another all-time high. Now, let's look at initial jobless claims. Some surprises here. 258,000. 258,000. That's going to put a little potential downward.
Yeah, see, again, this is what I don't like. I don't want to see jobs getting worse. I definitely don't want to see jobs getting worse. So we'll go into that in more detail here in a second too. But revisions for initial's pretty high. I mean, an extra, from expectations over here, 28,000 for consensus and 31,000 for forecast is a pretty steep number. And then continuing is, sitting there, which means people aren't getting hired back on or they're not finding work. And then the jobless claims 4-week average, again, higher, not horrible, but that's going to be the greatest lag. So very fascinating. We don't want to see it deteriorate much. Hopefully, the Biden administration will just keep hiring government employees until Trump gets elected, and then we'll start cleaning up the swamp.
Pressure on interest rates. The last time we had a number in that category, you're looking at June of 23, where it was 261,000. And finally, yes, it's the 18th consecutive month over 1.8 million on continuing claims. And just for the record, the last time we were above 1.
Oh, my boy Rex is in the house. Rex Finance, guys. I love this guy. He does great work. He said, guessing initial jobless claims had another short-term aberration because of the Hurricane Helene and the port strikes, very similar to the aberration caused by Hurricane Beryl. I would agree with that. I also just think that we have to look forward to as what's going to happen with jobs, and I think a lot of people will get hired temporarily for part-time work heading into the holiday season. So I think on top of removing aberrations, I think the forecast going forward is probably going to be a pretty positive one.
0.9
Now, the Bears will say, oh, but it's a bunch of part-time work, and they'll be right, but it doesn't really matter.
million was November of 21. We come in today at 1,861,000. That would be the warmest going back to the third week in July. So to summarize, it certainly seems as though the inflation numbers pretty much across the board were either as expected on one count, but pretty much warmer on all counts. And initial jobless claims definitely had a little pop there. So before the number, we were hovering right around 404 in a 2-year. We have dropped rather dramatically. We're now briefly under 4%. But if you look at the longer dated side, it moved from about 408 to basically 406. So it moved down as well. What's notable about 10-year is that yesterday was the 6th consecutive session that the high yield was higher than the previous day's high yield, all consecutive. So we want to monitor today, and today it already happened. We have traded above yesterday's high yield. We have high yield today.
Nobody's bidding on the 30 years. They're all bidding on the short term. That's why the yield is going up on the 30-year. When people aren't buying a bond, the yield goes up, right? When there's more selling than buying. And but we can see people buying the 10-year, the 5-year, the 2-year, but we don't see any interest in the 30, and I don't blame them right now.
Day of 410. The high yield yesterday was a whisker under 408. That means 7 in a row. Why do I bring?
All right, one sec. We'll let him finish his thought. I do want to see some. So let's just see real quickly how the market is absorbing it. It looks like it's turning pretty red, right? Nvidia down 1.2, Apple down 0.76, Microsoft 0.52, Tesla barely positive right now. So I do think today will end up being a down day. I think that's pretty much a given, at least initially with what we're seeing here with data. PayPal could get hit decently. It's down 2.73%. Again, when you have analysts adjusting their targets and saying that it's peaked on a day where the fundamental data doesn't look good, it's going to get smoked. So that's okay. We know that's coming. Wish I would have sold a little bit of that yesterday. Oh well, whatever. You know, hindsight's always 20/20. But all right. So I want to look real quickly here. I want to look at. Oh, no, I don't even have it here. I'll have to pull it. I got to add my other stream deck so I can get more of my tickers up. But I want to look at TLT real quick and see how that's doing. So yeah, it's dropping even more. So, but we're at the peak of the volume. So could we find support here on TLT? Probably. I'm going to lower this though because I don't want this alert driving me nuts. So let's just put her down to here for now and save that. So it looks like TLT continues to drop on the 20, just like the 30 probably. Looks like a red day. Daryl Farrell says shelter and food, 75% of inflation. I believe that. Wonder how Truflation's doing. I haven't looked at that in ages. Page not found. Okay. I just wanna click on some stuff. Inflation. This has changed a lot, actually. This has changed a whole heck of a lot. I don't know. Maybe they're a pay for service now. Yeah, U.S. aggregate. I don't want aggregate. I just want U.S. How do I? Let's see. Inflation. Index. Okay. So this might be. Maybe this is a service I should start paying for. All right. Real quickly. Let's look at this. I haven't done this in ages. I do love these guys, though. I just didn't see a point in taking a look at any of it. The site's all different, though. Maybe they've got stuff behind a paywall now. Let me see here. Constituents. There we go. Ooh, okay, cool. All right, so food and beverages. Food and beverages have ticked up a lot since August. Look at that number. Let's just go out further. I wish you could go further than a year. That would be cool. But yeah, so we can see since August, we've been ticking up in food and beverage. So again, that kind of makes your case. Let's look at housing. And these are components of the, did they show the percentages in here anymore? They used to. Yeah, 15% of their inflation related to index in here is food and alcohol beverages. Housing, it looks like, is this total housing? Which one is this? Other lodging. Okay. So maybe Airbnbs and other alternatives have started to tick up. I mean, they're choppy as fuck, but really since May, they've been ticking up, right? Outside of that though, we're starting to see a slight increase here too in housing total. heading into from this last month from a pretty decent drop. I mean, some of this stuff, let's see, rented dwellings, owned dwellings. Owned dwellings is in green here. So owned dwellings has really been dropping pretty well, but rented dwellings, let's see, is that this one? Or no, that's housing total. Rented dwellings have been coming up. I don't know, maybe it's all the illegal immigration. Maybe that's driving it up. But I can see that. Again, that part isn't too surprising to me. I think some of the core CPI inflation data is going to be more tough to deal with because of the fact that we have illegal immigrants. And if the number is really 10 million or anywhere close to that or above, that is super problematic for rents in a lot of major cities across the United States of America, and especially metros, and really even in my own city in the Midwest. There's a lot of illegal immigration occurring that's just getting shoved all over the country because people get tired of being in states and cities that are just overburdened, so they move to the smaller ones. So I could see this driving up costs, even though we're building tons of rental properties, at least where I am. And what is that as a percent of the total index here? It is 23.2. So housing, a huge component. Transportation. I gotta see. I might have to talk to these guys. They've tried to get me on their shows a few times too. They're very interesting. So gas again has been ticking up because oil has been going up. We've been seeing that, and the refined stuff is going up. We've been seeing vehicle purchases, net outlay. That's been ticking up since April. Let's see, public and transportation. Transport total 1.41, pretty flat on transport total. Public and other transportation dropping, and that is what 20%. So these are the big dogs right here, man. It's housing, transport, food and beverage. Those are the big ones. Utilities, natural gas. What the fuck? So that's went into positive territory. So we're seeing a pretty big resurgence in natural gas costs. Probably heading into the winter. I don't know how much seasonality is in that. This thing doesn't go back further than a year. I probably need to get access. I'm going to check into getting access to this platform. I wonder how much it costs. You guys have been providing more money for this. I mean, today, what the heck, like $50 or something right here. So I think maybe if these guys are reasonable on pricing, we should start purchasing this. At least the basic plan. It's only $20 a month. Unlimited access to our data, Oracle tapping into our core. Oh, fuck yeah. I don't know what complete access is, but I don't know that I'm ready to commit to $888 a month. If I go annual on this one, it's only $16 a month. Ooh, that drops down to $700. Still not ready to pay for that. If I pay with crypto, it lowers the price. Oh, I love these guys. I'm totally signing up for the monthly service. Okay, so we'll sign up for this and see if we can get better analytics from it. And I'll probably pay with crypto. What the heck? Get my reduced rate, pay annually. That's not a ton of money right here just to get started with some of the base data. Historical up to 3 years. I'd love 5. But 3 is good. 3 is a good starting point, man. It's better data than we have. So I'm excited. We're gonna get a look at that. Options questions. If open interest is high in contracts you're comparing, should you take what you perceive as the better strike price? I'm looking at CleanSpark July 20. So you can look with the options calculator, you can look and kind of see what the risk to reward is. I try to do that, and then I try and look at different price targets and then weigh that. I want to get as much time as I can get because time ends up, saving your ass a lot of the time. So because timing is the hardest part of the market. But so it just depends. I would look at all of them and try and see like, oh, hey, this one has a slightly lower multiple, but I'm giving myself a lot more time and it doesn't have to climb as high. And so my risk is going to be lower with a slightly lower multiple, but I think that's the one I want. So it depends on you and what you're looking for. And the tools like optionsprofitcalculator.com just make that a lot easier. All right, real quickly, we're going to let Rick finish here. It's optionsprofitcalculator.com. If you look it up, it's like one of the top ones out there. So it should be pretty easy to find. So we're going to listen to Rick and the rest of these guys real quick, talk about the inflation data, and I'm going to keep an eye on what's going on in the market.
Up every day. If you're a technician, that's a real momentum builder to higher yields, lower prices. Becky, back to you.
And Rick, what about that auction sale you were pointing out yesterday? You made the interesting point that we'd see if traders are more concerned about locking in.
the market is actually holding up ridiculously well so far. It's just pre-market though. Maybe the bloodbath starts in the morning. Meet Kevin is going to make 5% today. Why is that, Daryl?
Some of the gains maybe they've seen at this point, or maybe more concerned about that upward trend continuing?
Yes, I think what we are going to see is, and we do have an auction today, Reopen 30s, $22 billion. But I think we learned a lot over the last couple of auctions. It certainly seems as though certain categories have gotten a bit excited. Yesterday, it was all about indirect bidders. For the 3-year, it was about direct bidders. These categories show me that there is a little bit of nervousness out there
The market is bouncing back. Fascinating.
regarding the U.S. economy, how the Fed has anticipated how
Yeah, and Amazon up 1.5% in pre. Nice.
this rate cycle will go. And yes, I think there has been some profit taking, but I do think there's more of a reluctance to fade the notion that long duration rates like 10s, 20s, 30s, even 7s to some extent are going to be a bit more excited. Many believe it's the political season, and that subset believes it's all about debt and deficits, and how neither candidate seems too worried about trying to overspend to get more votes.
Johnny Utah, anecdotal evidence, but probably pretty good evidence, says, I work at an airport and it's 100% slammed. Is it a big one, Johnny? And I believe you. I think this season is going to be huge. And I don't know how well Delta's managing their costs. Somebody had said something about that earlier, like, hey, they might not be making money, but they could still be very, very busy. And I think that's a good sign for the economy, honestly.
Back to you.
All right, Rick, thank you. Steve Leisman joins us right now with more on this. And Steve, I guess my question would be, is the Fed more focused on a hotter than expected inflation read or a higher than expected jobless claims number?
I think the answer is yes, Becky. I think they're going to follow all of this right now. And this is a disappointing report, but not incredibly disappointing. And I'll go through some of the numbers here that I think created the pop here. This pop in food prices up 0.4%. A pop in used cars were -1 in the prior, minus a full percentage point in the prior month. Now they're up 0.3. Apparel up a strong 1.1%. Shelter, though, helping out here. Hang on, I wrote down the OER, owner's equivalent rent, went from 0.5 to 0.3. That is one of the lower numbers that we've had and might show that finally we're getting, that's the lowest number I have, at least in front of me here, going back to the last several months. And then you also had a motor vehicle insurance up 1.2 and airline fares up 3.2. I think, Becky, what we learned yesterday from the minutes is that there was a robust debate about doing 25 or doing 50. We heard yesterday Lori Logan, the Dallas Fed president, talk about still existing concerns about inflation being out there. We don't know how many Fed officials have this concern about it, but it may be as many as 6 or 7. It may be that Fed Chair Powell was out there twisting arms to get 50. There were certainly a number who wanted to do 25. And this down the road says, okay, maybe there's fewer cuts to come, especially if we're going to run sort of these high inflation rates. The good news, you had a decline in energy prices down 1.9%. You also had, finally, it looks like, some decline in housing inflation out there. The bad news is there's still some inflation out there worth watching. And then you also have to watch, as you said, the jobless claim. So the Fed sees it as balanced. I think there's still more cuts to come because of the idea that the Fed thinks you want to reduce rates to be in line with the prior decline and the strong decline in inflation while still maintaining a restrictive standpoint. So this has an impact, I think, down the road with how far the Fed goes.
Okay, Steve, thank you.
Coming up when we return, a unique view on the AI race from 2 longtime tech.
All right, I do have some other interesting data here, too, that I'm just compiling real quick. So I'm going to pull that up. And I'll let you know if I see more coming across the ticker. But let's just pull this up real quick. Let's jump out of here. Let's go over to U.S. economy. Oh, I might have to resort. Is that how that works? Yeah, okay, cool. So a few things to look at. So right here, Liz Young Thomas said, reason not to overreact to CPI. If we look at it without the seasonal adjustment, today's print was below last year's comparable month-over-month rate. Additionally, seasonally unadjusted inflation has been bang in line with pre-pandemic average. So this is why the market came back. This is why it came back. Baraj Patel said this was a hotter inflation print driven by a few factors, not a lot of breadth, though. Only 43% of the U.S. CPI basket was running above 2.5% inflation, slightly higher than average. But for context, the 6-month moving average is at Q4 2019 levels. Inflation still looking like it's back to normal. So again, 2 people saying, "Hey, we're okay." Kobayashi letter again, my buddy here. A little bit of a bear, but I like his bearishness. He's good and he's data driven. He's just showing government workers household survey seasonally adjusted is at a record high and the biggest monthly increase on record if you exclude COVID. So government workers are everywhere. I wonder why. Maybe we just got to boost up numbers. Oh, why am I not supported? All right, I got to add Kobayashi. I got to support my friends, man. Even ones I disagree with. As long as they're not idiots. Letter, sign, subscribe. So I'll do that later because I'm not showing you my credit card info. He said, what is happening with the U.S. government jobs data? The September jobs report shows the economy created 785,000 new government jobs, the second largest monthly ever increase on record. Government jobs also accounted for a whopping 85% of increased total payrolls in the household survey. In effect, the number of government workers hit a new all-time high of 22.2 million. That is a ridiculous fucking number. This helped push the unemployment rate down to 4.2%, to 4.2 from 4.1. Without government jobs, the unemployment rate would have been 4.5%. I think he's right. I can't say he's not right here. This is probably true. All of this is true. So kind of fascinating to think how that's working right now with government jobs boosting everything. Let me real quickly, I'm going to hop over. I'll pull up the heat map again here somewhere. Bitcoin's popping again. Bitcoin's coming back around. And if we refresh here on pre-market, let's see how we're doing. So Tesla's up 0.5%. Some of these are still red, but they're recovering. Amazon's doing okay. We'll see how the market digests it. It sounds like outside of jobless data, there's probably not a lot of signal for the inflation and CPI going higher that's legitimate. So I think there's something we can skip there. All right, let's keep going. See what else we got. Let's see if there's anything else we care about right now. Any other news we care about. If you guys have any headlines too. Oh, and that's what I was going to do. So doing a bunch of things. We'll be signing up for Truthflation. I'll see if I find any cool analytics that come from that. And then for now, I think since it's 10:10, I'm just going to leave this up while I talk. So let me know how Tesla's doing, guys. We're still up 0.5%. We'll see if we dive down. We could dive down here to like 236. Again, that's my target. So if that happens, don't be scared. I think that's just a good buying opportunity. Heck, I might pick some up. Got about 45,000 to play with today. So I'll probably end up doing something like that. Let's read comments. Yeah. Austin said the high airfares are often offset by the costs associated with operating the flights, which increases the break-even of operating flights, which results in low profitability for airlines. Even though they can be busy, they can be low profitability. I agree with that. That sounds smart. Mainstay. Oh, that was that one. Keep going. Alexander Fuchs. Sorry if I butchered your name. What's the tool you use? Oh, I gave that to you. Soaring Shitty. Hey, buddy. You on the toilet today? I'm late. Damn headache. Sorry, bro. I hope your day gets better. Okay, Amazon's nonstop. Yes, they are. Sai, thank you for joining as a member. I appreciate you. You can make comments now and ask questions. Daryl Farrell, Vegas was packed like a cruise ship. Very busy, pre-COVID busy. Beautiful. Cam Prague, hey, Jesse, CPI shouldn't affect Tesla. It's 10:10. It doesn't sound like it affects anything. Joseph Mock, we're going down. Oh, no, we're going down. Maybe we're not. Okay. Initial jobless claims, I think, is no less of an issue with these higher numbers than expectations. Johnny Utah, major hub in the western United States. Oh, cool. Okay. Johnny Utah, the amount of money they have for construction is unreal. I have a job for the next 10 years. Yeah, I believe it. I believe it with airlines. I really do. And I think nobody cares. So on X, we got comments here. Let's see what we got. Kavita says, go to his website. Kavita 13, I'm subscribed, and he'll show you his trades and tech. Oh, yeah. If you're talking about, and by website, are you talking about the Discord? You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on X. And then if you want to be a part of the Discord where you can see the historical for all my trades and all the charts that I share, I'm going to have all the charts that I share. I don't have them all in there yet. But you can find that here, right here. He's not bearish. He's invested in saying there's still room to pump more. Are you talking about me, Kevin? Are you talking about Kevin or me? Whatever. That's my stuff. I'm better. Let me see here. Chad Ventures, bonds not really moving on this data today. It sounds like they shouldn't. Seems like nobody really cares. Agreed. Except for the algorithms that are selling because of the higher than expected data. Yeah, before somebody comes in. No, for your friend Kobe. Oh, okay. Thank you. All right, cool. Sweet. I didn't know that. All right, I'll check him too. Yeah, sometimes he could be. I probably label him as bearish, but maybe he's not. I know he's switched. I know recently he's definitely been somebody who's talking more positively about markets and their ability to go higher. And I think he pays attention to global liquidity too. I don't know. Maybe you can confirm, Kavito. Crypto Analyzer, do you think Bitcoin will bottom at 57 to 58, or are you just hoping it gets there to add? I'm hoping it drops there. I don't think it has to. I hope it does. So my bias is hope. So keep that in mind. I do want that to happen. All right. All came slightly. Yeah, here's just another one too. I'm just going to throw out a couple more posts on X here that are confirming that this is probably a nothing burger. I'm going to throw out one from my buddy Mortensen Bach. But again, I don't think this is going to matter. This is why we source information from a bunch of different places, guys, because when we do that, we get better results than just like me, Kevin, trying to do it all on his own. You know what I mean? So that's good. That's a good thing. All right, let's check. I haven't looked yet, but how's the crypto market doing this morning? Interesting. Ethereum's starting to run. XRP's running. There's some narrative behind that, I think. Solana kind of taking a break. I actually think Ethereum could outperform Solana over short term just because Ethereum's so beat up. And again, narrative shifts. Narrative shifts all the time. So that's just what happens. Looks like Jim Cramer's talking about the CPI. I'm almost curious what he has to say, just to see if it's a counter trade moment. But we'll see. I do have, let me see, inflation print comes in hotter than expected. So there's sites, I want to show you something else. I'm going to show you what Zero Hedge is saying. And then, and we got to talk about Tesla too, obviously. Big Tesla day today, guys. Big Tesla day. But I want to show you a couple of other things. I just want to show you how Zero Hedge, like, don't get me wrong. There's some things that are beneficial there. But I would say all in all, can be super negative, very politically biased towards the right. And so again, inflation prints hotter than expected after big Fed rate cut. Okay, but I don't think that's the real story. Bach says all CPI metrics came in slightly above expectations, but before we run for the hills and give the doomsday bears, it's worth noting that headline CPI came in at its lowest level since February 2021. It won't be the first print we will get, which is above expectations. I continue to monitor the overall trend and that remained down. This data favors a 25 bip cut at the November meeting, agreed. Over 50 bips. Initial claims were also higher, so it doesn't massively favor, but it's slightly. I think it's just going to stay 25. Keep in mind that we're currently also in a seasonal weak period for broader indices and election year cycles that with data since 1950, that seasonal weakness is set to end around mid-October, especially, yeah, if he's talking about jobs for sure. I 100% agree with that. So again, just remember, like when you're listening to people like this guy, he definitely puts politics before the data, and he uses data to drive his political views, or at least that's my interpretation of it. I don't know what your guys' is, but I don't love that. I want the data to be my guide. Speaking of data, let's look at the Fear and Greed Index on CNN. 72, still in the greed zone. We've been doing that for a while. I said we could do it for a while. We're doing it for a while. Are we going to roll over? Maybe. It could definitely happen, or maybe we go a leg higher. I'm still leaning on a leg higher. I think we're climbing a wall of worry. So let's just look at the crypto fear and greed index. It's 39. We're getting, who knows, man? Maybe we get to extreme fear here soon if we get down to 57. I hope we do so badly. So badly I want it to fall. Let's look at layoffs. I haven't looked at that in a while. Let's just see if we have layoffs growing at all. So 2024, we had, let me make sure we're in the right one. It says 2024, 457 tech companies with layoffs, 139,534 jobs. Now, this covers tech layoffs all around the world, too. But let's look at this compared to 2023. 2023, we had 1,200. So we're running at about a third of the layoffs. And we're over like 80% through the year right now. Honestly, pushing towards 85% of the year. We also had 264,000 layoffs, whereas right now we have 139. So we're at about 55% of the layoffs and about 80 to 85% of the way through the year. And about 1/3 almost, a little, maybe like 35% of the tech companies with layoffs. So it really seems like this year has been a bounce back year when it comes to layoffs, which I think is also good. Let me see what else we have here. I'm subscribed, and I'll show you. Oh, okay, that was that one. You think Bitcoin, crypto, agreed? All right, so no new comments. We'll leave that alone. If you guys got more comments, questions at all, if you see any other news that you want to talk about, let us know. It looks like my buddy Banana Stocks is talking about Meta still going up. I agree with that 100%. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I think Meta continues to take off. Let's go back and just take a look at some of these data points too, ourselves, just to put them in perspective. So I would say, yeah, it's still a crazy drop, guys. Thank you, Double H. You've been awesome, man. Appreciate you, brother. Again, if you just look here, the core number does not look bad when we go back historically. Especially with everything that we just read about how the fact, if you take out seasonality, that things are really actually really good, or I should say in line and pre-pandemic levels. And again, United States inflation rate. So this doesn't look bad either. Actually, it's a little hard to read on 10-year. So maybe we'll just go back over to here. Does this look bad? This doesn't look bad, does it? Doesn't it look like what it's supposed to? It does to me. Regardless of expectations, right? And then again, CPI, I would actually argue that with CPI, we kind of had a flattening. If we go out the 3-year here, I mean, we're still ramping, but it's not the rate that it was before. So I think inflation is probably fine. Let's look at jobless claims, see how bad it is. Oh, it's so hard to read this because you can't really go past 3 years. But we're the highest level we've been since August of 2023, arguably maybe June of 2023. So we're sitting at what, 15-month levels, 16-month levels right now for jobless claims. But you can see what happened there. Like we had some spikes and then we just rolled over again. That's probably what's going to happen at least over the short term because of seasonality and people getting part-time jobs working for Amazon and everything else. And continuing is probably the same. Continuing didn't even get past the peak of July. So, I mean, there's not much there. And then the 4-week average isn't even past the numbers of September 7th. So, yeah, so this data doesn't look that bad. Again, I'm excited, guys, about the Argentinian data. If I don't cover it, if I don't end up doing the market recap because of the funeral and just everything else going on, then I want to make sure to cover this tomorrow morning. So if I forget, remind me, guys, because we want to see how Argentina's doing. I think that's going to be a great bet. And then again, into tomorrow, we're going to have even more data. We'll have data out of India. We'll have data out of Mexico. We'll have data out of Canada. And then we'll have PPI, core PPI, Michigan consumer data, and then Michigan inflation expectations. WASD report should be interesting. Just a lot of stuff tomorrow coming in. Rex, great video yesterday on CleanSpark. Did he have a good one? I love Rex. He's a good dude. He's a good dude. If you guys don't follow Rex Finance, follow him. I like his takes. He's a farmer, dude. But you did a video, Rex, about farming and just tying it in with investing. I thought that was brilliant, man. I thought you did a really great job on that. Just very smart. Very well done. Crane collapsed in Tampa. Times building. Hurricane. Yeah, okay. Just noise. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that's really... Let me go back over here. So I don't see too much. They're talking about the hurricane now. There isn't too much going on in some of this. So we're going to jump over. We're going to look over at other data that's been compiled since last night and talk through it. So let's go to our bookmarks here. China. Let's do that. So, and it looks like I posted this twice. I said if you're investing in China, you're the exit liquidity. And maybe I already showed this one. I might have. It says the shift of investment inflows from external investors had been extraordinary in China. Just basically showing how everybody that's buying right now is Westerners, which is funny. And then this, 17 hours ago from bar chart, negative trade flowing in China just hit a new all-time high yesterday. But now, again, they've seen some more buying, so it's probably up overnight. People are stupid. They'll buy everything, China. They don't care. They don't care if it's a dictatorship. They don't care if there's literally millions of people that are slave labor. Really, if you consider the lower class, like 340 million that are slave labor, where their kids where these guys have to work in factories and regions to make money to send money back home. But if they have their families with them, their kids can't even technically enroll in school and they can't benefit from social programs. Even though the social programs are shit in China, they still can't benefit them because they're traveling nomads essentially in China. So like 1/3 to 1/4 of their society are just these poor traveling nomads that are treated like lesser than citizens. Isn't that disturbing? That's what you guys support when you invest in China. You support the CCP, a horrific dictatorship and communist regime, a communist regime that's responsible for more genocide than Nazi Germany. So I don't know, man. Like you guys do you. You guys do you. If you like investing in horrificness, then you do you. I'll invest in the companies that are making the world a better place and that are making me rich at the same time. Victor Hernandez, can you share his channel? Just look up Rex Finance. Just that. He's a young dude, blonde. Can't miss him. John Mars says, Buenos dias, amigos. Back at you, brother. Master of the Game says, lots of MSTR versus BTC drama. Everybody fights back and forth about that bullshit. It's such a waste of energy. There is a great... Oh, MicroStrategy, though. On that talking point, we should cover this. Is it under my Bitcoin stuff? I probably should have put it under MicroStrategy, but that's a great segue into something I wanted to talk about anyway. MicroStrategy is a great investment. I really like it. Just look here. This is from the Bitcoin Therapist. He's got Bitcoin, MSTR, bull market multiplier is absolutely insane. So this is the bull cycle power adjusted M net asset value multiplier. So it is taking in projections of the net asset value and what kind of multiple it can see, also with the investments, the continuing investments that Michael Saylor does into Bitcoin as the stock goes higher and he sells worthless fiat to be able to buy Bitcoin, a hard asset that's going to go up still, right? And so he talks about like the projections of what we might see if we hit 150, 170K, a price on MicroStrategy of $1,528. I think this might be a little optimistic, but I do think that the multiplier is going to be powerful and that it's going to be a good opportunity for people. I can't argue that. So I think it will be a good MicroStrategies is going to be a good play. I don't understand though why people have to go back and forth and fight with each other about these plays. As long as you're in a decent miner, if you believe in HPC, again, I've added to Iron. Will that turn out to be anything? It doesn't have to. Wolf up 8% pre-market. Why? Is there any real news? I wish I could see pre-market. I wish I could see pre-market on my watch list. I don't think I can. Does anybody know how to do that? Let me get in here with miners real quick and see. Come on, sucker. Yeah, there we go. Can I do pre here? I don't think I can. No grouping. Minimum, maximum, price. Yeah, I think it just shows. I wish I could get a pre-market view of this data, of my watch list. That would be so fucking cool. But I cannot, nonetheless. And that sucks. I wonder if my hood, does anybody know? Let me see. Let me just try this. Let me try pre-market by sector. No, you can't. That would be great, right? Pre-market screener. What is that? Oh, fuck off. I gotta see. If anybody knows of good pre-market tools that can show like the stock market heat map or something, but towards sectors, I can't do that with a stock. Like again, TradingView has this, and I love this, but I mean, it's not like I can pick up Bitcoin miners in here. You know what I mean? Like I can toggle views here into different sectors, but it's just not quite the same. Yeah, it's just not quite the same. I wish I could do that. If anybody has better ways, and then you could see heat multipliers, but it's not really what I'm looking for. It's not really what I'm looking for. Yeah, if you guys have any ideas on that, though, or any good companies that I might be able to reflect on, I would love to hear it. And again, any data, any news, throw it out there. Let's keep going, though. So I wanted to talk to Titan Up Crypto. Let me know if you do have news on Wolf. Oh, hey, I missed a couple of comments I wanted to talk about, too. So let me just run through a quick bit. Emil Jadhav said, which one of you will recommend for a new investor, CleanSpark or Palantir? So Palantir is up over 620%. I wouldn't buy that. I think that's a horrible idea. It's going parabolic. Is it going up today? Let's just see here. I would not buy this, dude. It's up. It's down 0.6%. It ran 4% yesterday. It's getting ready to all-time high. Maybe it could double from stupidity, but this thing would be a $200 billion cap if it doubled from its previous all-time high, yeah, something like that. If it went up, if it goes up like 91%, you'd be close to it. You'd be a $180 billion market cap, and I just don't think this company is ready for that yet. You can view watch list and trade. Yeah, you can view it, but you can't view pre-market, which sucks. I mean, the market is opening up in 13 minutes, so that won't be an issue. But it would be great if I could show you guys an assessment while I'm talking through stuff that shows you a view of like my list or the things I want to track, and that we can switch between, because I'm trying to create my sector. I'm trying to expand out my sectors. And like over here right now, all I have is mining, and then I have my watch list. But I want to put different sectors for like AI, stuff like that, and then I want to build them out, and then I want to be able to see it in pre-market. You can't. You can see pre-market. I can't see pre-market on your watch list. Let me just pull this up. I mean, here's my watch list, and then when I click right here for the advanced view, where I'm trying to be able to see them all in one place, I've got Palantir up 4%. That's obviously not today. That's not today. So if you could tell me how to get today for this view, where I can see everything in one place, that would be wonderful. Pre-market X'd. Press the three dots. Oh, shit. You guys are telling me how to do it? Well, fucking, I love you guys. Oh, you mean over here? Extended hours? I fucking love you guys. You guys pay me to teach me shit. Oh, I love you guys so much. No, wait, that's not right. Let me go back here. What do I have to click on over here? I thought I did it. Extended hours. Oh, so it'll be another tab maybe. Okay. Let me see here real quick. Let me take out a couple of tabs. What don't I need? Average volume 10. I don't need that. Fuck that. Let me get rid of that. I can't do that here. Last change percentage. So I could do it here, but will this correlate over to what I'm seeing over there? Do I just have to do this? Is this what I have to do? No, that's still not. So if I shrink these, it's like over here, right? So maybe I just have to keep a window open. Extended hours. Dang it. I wish they had that in another way. Can you drag and drop that? So this is what this is what you guys are talking about, right? Yeah. I wish you could do that under the shared list though. You know what I mean? It's like right here under this graph, it would be awesome to have that exact same functionality right here, but you can't, can you? Like, I don't think it put it in here, which sucks. Or maybe it did and it's just not viewable. No, it didn't. Because I would love to be able to do the graph, and I'd love to be able to have my shared lists have this same information and not have to do this manually. But whatever. This is still, whatever. It's better than what I had, so thank you guys. I'm not going to complain. Beggars can't be choosers. So PayPal down the most, 2.8%. ArcG down 2%. SoFi down 1%. TMF down 1.2%. NVIDIA down 1%. Square down 1%. Palantir down 0.63%. Uranium down again today. Hood down. So there's going to be a lot of stuff down today. MU's down 0.51%. ARGT, is that still going up? Might have to sell some of that again today. I don't want to do that. But if I can make money on that, we'll have to see. Can I see that? It's up. It's up. It's up 0.52. All right, fuck. Well, maybe I can't even sell that. I just bought it yesterday, so we'll see. But this is helpful. This is helpful, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Are you planning to DCA more ArcG and CleanSpark? Yes, but I'm waiting on ArcG. I'm okay with waiting a little bit on that one because I think it's going to lag. CleanSpark, maybe today? Well, I mean, it's up today. So probably not. It needs to go down. It needs to go down. And I'm not going to buy PayPal. I got $500,000 in it. Maybe a little less now. I'll have to figure out what I'm going to buy. I'm not sure. I'm not sure right now. It doesn't really look like there's a lot of buying options. Maybe Hood. Maybe Hood. If Hood gets crushed on the options, then maybe I'll end up buying some of that again. I was selling it up 35%. What was it, yesterday or the day before? So we'll see. But yeah, don't buy Palantir. If you're going to buy, and I don't even know about SoFi, I would buy CleanSpark, Amol. That's me talking to myself. That's not financial advice. But I would buy CleanSpark because I think CleanSpark can go up 250% between now and spring. So I don't think you're going to get that with Palantir. I don't even think you're going to get that with SoFi. That's my take. Okay, said TFB, these are the indicators I like best. What happens in the real street, not in Wall Street. Agreed. Johnny Utah, kind of like in the 90s with the farm labor camps in California. I'm sorry, which one? Farm labor camps in California. What can you reference? What are you talking about? Are you comparing? Hopefully, you're not comparing what happens in China. Hopefully, that's like something with immigration or something, because that's definitely not comparable to China. But if you could clarify your point, Chris DeSantis, are you in construction, Johnny Utah? Crypto Analyzer, Wolf up 8% pre-market. Yeah, so is it? Do I not have Wolf on my watch list? I must not. I'll have to add it. Did we ever figure out the news on it? Let me pull it up. And then let's see here, guys. We got 7 minutes until open, so we'll circle back around to that in a second. I do think that it's going to be a big non-issue here in a second. Oh, and what do I got to do? I got to do something here. I got to like scroll this up. Yeah, that's what it is. I got to do this, right? Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, 7%. Let's see. We don't have any AI tools telling us why. TeraWolf enters into long-term ground lease contract at Lake Mariner facility to attract high-quality customers. So that's got to be it, right? Let's see if we can find any news on that on here. And then we'll get back to Bitcoin and comments. And if you guys on X find posts where it justifies kind of what's happening with price action on any of this stuff, please share it. On X, you can do that. That's not a feature you get on YouTube, unfortunately. Yep. Okay. So Dr. Lewis put that out there. So we'll go ahead and post that. I don't know if it actually means much. I mean, yeah, I don't know if it means anything. But it's a headline. So you got that going for you. Everybody loves headlines. It's all that matters. It's all that matters. All right. And if you guys haven't started yet, guys, I still just want to reiterate, I love this. I love this. I love Pro X. If you have premium, you get this. It gives you so much in a short amount of time. I've got keyword filters up here, guys, for all the things I wanted to track. I'll probably take Rivian off of there. But I can update this list and add things to it. I probably need to. I need to put more miners on here. But I can literally get all the news events filtered by the content I'm looking for. And I can get rid of the noise. And then over here, I've got the people I'm following. I can switch it to subscribed. I can switch it to For You for the algorithm for X. There's so much you can do in here. It is mind-bogglingly like cool. And then again, just so you guys know, I'm only responding to people that are verified and subscribed now. Subscribed obviously is going to get the priority for my responses. So if you guys have questions, you're going to need to do that if you want me to be able to answer them on X. Otherwise, I won't be doing that anymore. I'm not going to be. We get paid for engagement with people that are verified users, and I get paid directly from people that are subscribed. So that's the stuff I'm going to be posting. Tesla's unveiling its long-awaited robotaxi and the technology it runs. Okay, great. We already know that. But again, the good stuff here. And real quickly, I'm going to look at Grok. Grok gives great headlines too. It says Tesla unveils a cybercab robotaxi. I mean, I don't think they have yet. Palantir nearing all-time high. We kind of knew that. Hedge funds invest in crypto. That might be interesting. Thailand SEC proposes crypto investment for funds. Interesting. Israeli cabinet set to decide Iran retaliation. Interesting. OpenAI's profitability delayed to 2029. That's a fucking joke. That's so funny. People are going to invest in OpenAI at what is it, a 50 billion, 150 billion valuation? I don't even know what is their valuation. Do you guys know? And yet they're not even going to be profitable until 2029. And yet they have all this competition from companies like xAI that can be profitable very quickly. I don't know. It sounds painful to me. Elon Musk's 50-year autonomous transport vision. Okay. I didn't know he laid out a 50-year plan. Thought it was a lot quicker. China's central bank launches $500 billion swap facility. That's interesting. Probably need to post about that. Thank you, Crypto Analyzer, for posting that. I'm going to click on this one real quick. I want to see what they're saying. Also, let's get back over. CNBC, it looks like, is not live yet, but they're going to be going live in a couple of minutes. So I'm gonna pull that up while this stews. If you guys aren't using Grok, you need to. Pre-market screener shows biggest movers, but no heat map. Yeah, I don't want that. I want something where like I can create my own list, or a multitude of lists that are shareable. I love what what TradingView has already. They're the best. I mean, they're just the best. But it just absolutely kind of sucks though that we have to worry about. It sucks that we can't like switch it to extended hours easily under their list view. That would be so much better. So I'll try and figure something out. You know what? TradingView is great, guys. I just real quickly, I'm going to pull this up on another screen because I don't want to show any other private conversations other people have had with me. But I do want to show you TradingView. These guys check in all the time. They're just a great company. They really are. Yeah, just look at this. Like, and again, I'm just like, no, you're amazing. But I'm going to respond to them now. It's like again, look at this. These guys are so great. They're like, this name, Law TradingView. I'll ask them for it. No, wait, that's a different conversation. Oh, all right, get out of there. That's somebody else's. I don't want to show you that, I think. But anyway, they ask me every year. They're like, hey, is there anything with the product you want to improve? Anything we need to know? And I fucking love that about TradingView, man. And I'm gonna submit something to them. I'm literally gonna ask them, hey, can you please fix this and correct it? Oh, hey, we got the market open coming here. So while we're waiting, I'm gonna go back to it. Let's go live. All right.
A week or two ahead of the election,
So,
a week or
market
two
open in 1 minute.
after the election.
I guess he's still talking about Delta Airlines.
A little bit of a pause, which makes sense. You think about it with all the uncertainty, with all the rhetoric. And people are not, and by the way, I don't think this is just going to be an industry story. I think you're going to see it across consumer discretionary purchases as a whole. People are going to take a little caution. They're going to want to find out what happens. They don't like uncertainty when it comes to investing dollars, whether it's buying homes or buying airplane tickets.
I 100% agree with that. I think after the election, we're going to see more of it.
Coming on the heels.
Waiting for your referral code for TradingView. Wait until Black Friday, dude. Black Friday is when I'll give it, and it's just a massive discount. It's the only time I renew with TradingView. I wouldn't touch it until then. Save your money. All right, so Kaolin Barron had a great question. Thoughts on MicroStrategy's adoption for FASB accounting? Likely in Q1 of 2025. It's not likely. They will be forced to switch to FASB accounting in the beginning of 2025. It's just voluntary before that, and a lot of miners have already done it. So I think that's going to be great. Also, the potential catalyst for QQQ adoption and S&P inclusion, I think those are going to be great too. I think the multiplier behind MicroStrategy is actually a really great one. It is running a little hot right now. So if we look over, we got 20 seconds. I'll do it real quick. If we look over here, the NAV, the net asset value, basically like what is their company worth and Bitcoin holdings worth versus what the current, like what it should be. A 1x would mean it's fairly priced. It's at 2.48 right now, so it's still pretty high, but it can go higher. So right now, I don't know if it's the best of deals, but it's one of those things where I do think that is a huge opportunity. Is the fact that they're going to be doing FASB accounting that should drive the price, I think, at least up $50 from what I've seen. All right, real quickly, let's get to the noise, get to the beepings.
Let's get the opening bell on the CNBC Real-Time Exchange. With the big board, the NYSE Members Handicapped Children's Fund at the NASDAQ, Intelligent Alpha, an asset manager using AI models for investment selection.
There is a notion, and there's two trends to AI.
All right, here we go.
One is real AI, which is like what we'll see from Elon Musk, which will be amazing. And then or Medtronic even, where they have an AI which covers 50% more polyps in your when you do your colonoscopy.
Did he say real AI, like what we're seeing from Elon Musk, which will be amazing? Did that just come out of this guy's mouth? Is that for real? What?
Colonoscopy, yeah.
Then there's the other kind of AI, which just says, you know what, we're I don't know, we're going to take a left turn rather than a right turn.
FinViz.
There
I haven't
are
looked at
moments,
this in a long
David, where
time.
AI is overused. It's something.
I'm actually agreeing with Jim Cramer so much lately, it's frightening me. I forgot about this. I haven't used FinViz in a long time. I can't remember. There's a pay for service in this. Think X00. I love you, brother. I love you. Thank you. I will dig in deeper. See, this is so great, guys. You guys are so wonderful, man. I'll complain about a problem and you guys provide an answer to it. This is stuff I couldn't do on my own. I'm not as strong without you. This is great. So I might get set up with Trueflation for the monthly and see what I can find for data and analytics from that. I'm going to subscribe to Kobayashi. I'm going to make a request to TradingView to get it to where, let me just write this out real quick. Make a request to add extended hours to shared lists. And I think they'll fucking do it. And then FinViz, you guys are just great. Check out and see about subscribing. You guys, I fucking love you, man. You guys are great. This is so cool. There's so many interesting things in here. You can put a portfolio tracker in here too, so that might be interesting. It's got like everything. It's got heat maps. It's got screeners. It's got like a bunch of stuff in here. This is interesting too. I used to use this, but then it's like I switched to TradingView. But I wonder if there's anything in here that's helpful that I can't get, especially under the Elite Pack. So I will check that out too. Really appreciate you, man. Very, very much. I want to listen to Jim Cramer for a second, though. Talking positively about Tesla. It's such a rarity. Do we have 454 people here? If that's true, can you guys hit the like? And then also on X, if you guys could go into the post, it should be near the top. I'll put it there again if it's not. If you guys could comment, there's a 17.5x multiplier to comments. And I want X to really grow. It's my baby. I love it. It's the freest place on the planet. So if you guys could go in there and add a comment, I just moved it to the top. So it would be greatly appreciated. But thank you guys for all your support, man. I fucking love you guys. Let's listen to Jim.
Spreadsheet. By the way, I saw something geometrical rather than algorithmical. These are all terms designed to confuse our viewers.
There's a lot of things that are.
How was the Pepsi algorithm one feel like? Was it normal? I still did the 8%.
I don't know.
TechSlayer said, any news on PayPal? Yes, there were a couple of downgrades basically by analysts saying that it's topped out. So that's what happened. It's bullshit. Don't worry about it.
Coca-Cola's going to do big numbers, I think.
Why?
James Quincy's doing a remarkable job.
Coca-Cola's going to do big numbers. James Quincy's doing a remarkable job.
Yes.
That doesn't answer the question. Why?
What are they going to circular reasoning?
Yeah, what are they going to do?
They know how to advertise. They've got.
All right, they moved on. Okay, I don't care anymore. All right, so I'm going to keep this live. I'm going to mute it. I'm going to let it run in the bottom. If I see anything interesting, I'll let you guys know. I also probably should check, and I'll make sure that I'm trying to get, again, guys, I have a subscription to CNBC Pro. I don't recommend it to anybody necessarily, but for me it's helpful because I can go in here to their site and find videos that I want, and I can dish them up to you, and I think that's really helpful. All right, let me keep going through. I'm going to try and get caught up in comments. Yeah, you guys are so great. How's admin wife? She's good. She's good. I'm supposed to go to this funeral. I'm going to try. Today's gotten crazy busy, so if I don't end up being able to go, at least her and my daughter are going to be going and hanging with a friend who's close to us. We don't know her. We didn't know her father very well, but she came to my father-in-law's funeral, and we love her and appreciate her and want to support her. Gary Corrett, are you planning to DCA? Okay, that was that. So it looks like I'm getting caught up. Bitcoin Man, going to load the boat on TMF. Oh, I don't know if I do that, bro. I don't love that idea. TMX is a 3x multiplier. I don't even think that comes into play really until spring or the beginning of next year. CleanSpark. Is CleanSpark down? Ooh, is it down? Is it down? I hope it's down. Go down. Go down, motherfucker. CleanSpark. 1 sec. Let me drag this over. You better go down. Is it down? Oh, wait. That's my what it could do. Damn it. It's not really down that much. 2%? It's not bad. Probably a good buy zone. All right. We'll see what happens. I'm waiting. I really want to wait on CleanSpark because I hope Bitcoin can still fall. And it's not really falling the way I want it to, but I have hope. I'm hoping and praying that Bitcoin falls. And if it does that, I will use that as my opportunity to really get in there. That's my thought process. Let's see here. Victor Hernandez, red day. Is it red? Let's see. What's the hot heat map doing again? Oh, it's not even bad. Today's not bad. Surprisingly good, honestly. I guess I pulled that up on the wrong screen. I should probably pull it up over near you guys. But I don't even think today's a bad day. I wanted it to be. I might still buy stuff. Tesla's getting closer to my goal, guys. Oh, it's exciting. Let's pull it up. Tesla is dropping. Sweet. All right, so I might even buy some Tesla today. We'll see. I really want it to get down here. Let's do this. We're going to drag down so I get a notification when it happens. So we really want to get to like 236. We get to 236. That's my strong buy zone. We get to... Let's get it on the weekly. I want to get it on the weekly because that's where... Oh, no, it's the daily where we have the 200 moving average. Is that true? No, maybe it is the weekly. Am I tripping? Yeah, it is. Okay, cool. So I really wanted to get... Yeah. Okay, so that lines up perfectly with the support zone. And then also right down here, if we got lower, I would buy the shit out of that too. And I hate to do that because I've got over $1 million in options. It's not like I'm looking ready to stack. But if you watched my video yesterday, I'm like, if this bitch drops 2%... it's time to go. It's time to get the party starting. MSTX or CleanSpark today? That's a good question. Let me just look at my portfolio here. I'll probably pull that up and drag it over. I just got to hide my account number. I don't like advertising that too much. So give me 1 second. We'll talk about it. You think it will go up after the event? Which one? When should we start taking profits on PayPal? I mean, it's up to you, man. I'm in no rush on PayPal. I'm in no rush. Again, let's just go over to that one real quick. So we got a little bit of a retrace. It's okay to have a pause. We haven't even gotten up to the next fib. Could we break down here to the 75s even? Sure. I don't know. Maybe. I don't really care, though. This is such a great stock. I'm excited about the quarter. I'm not really looking to take profits on PayPal to like 96, 95 probably. And then when we get to the .618 at 114, I'd probably be at least 50% out of my options. Probably dump all of my 2025s for whatever they're worth at that time. But I'm in no rush with PayPal. I'm very patient on that one. I mean, the 2025s are probably dust. If you get anything back on those, great. But other than that, I just do not care. Just like Tesla, I'm in no rush to take profits on Tesla either. All right, here, real quickly. So let's just look at how things are sitting. So ARKG down 2.42. So options down double that. Bitfarms down almost 2%. BITX is only down 0.5. So I don't think that's necessarily a great opportunity right now. What is MSTX down? 1.74. That's not super great either. Hood is looking... Well, no, the options probably haven't updated. So Hood is down 2.7. I like that. Hopefully that keeps dropping. Hood's looking the most interesting to me right now. I've still got way too much in PayPal. This will lower, but I have this in another account too. So I had over 600,000 in PayPal, maybe 700,000. That's so much money. I don't really want to add to that. Just like Tesla, I'm probably still near $1 million. Even though that's dropped, I'm probably still near $1 million on that one. And so it's like, that's a lot of money too. I don't know. I'm not really seeing... I think Hood is the most interesting. Maybe CleanSpark if it's under $1.30. So maybe it's down 3% on the day on these options. I don't know. I really want this one to roll over. I think Hood is the best bet for today. That's probably where I'm going to put my money. I got about 25K in cash, and then I got other investments I can sell to buy. So that's probably where I'll put my money today. And then if MicroStrategy actually starts to drop a decent amount, it would have to drop a decent amount for me to buy more. All right, let's see here. Sarthak, you think it'll go up after the event? Which one were you talking about, Sarthak? What event? Took some profits on Palantir. Not sure how much higher it can go. I think that's a great idea. Personally, that's what I would be doing if I wasn't already out. But I made 600,000 a long time ago from them, and it's doubled since I did that. I think maybe even more than doubled. Dustin P11 said, I watched Sebastian ski, and it sounds like Riot and BITF were the only miners in positive revenue last month. I might buy them. Yeah, he was showing. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't like Riot. Riot added to their hash. I like Bitfarms. Bitfarms I like. That I've got a decent stack of. How much do I have? Probably over 120,000 between all the accounts on Bitfarms. I like CleanSpark. I like Bitfarms. I like Mara, and more recently for an HPC play, I like Iron. I don't really love Riot. They haven't been performing well, and then they have to shut down miners if the electricity is needed. That really sucks in the bull market. It's great in the bear because then you get credits, and maybe that's what got him over the top. Maybe it was the credits. Took some. Let's see. Mark, BTD just put out another Iron video, deeply undervalued. Who's BTD, Mark? Let me know. Tesla's event, so excited. Oh yeah, Tesla's event's going to be great. I don't care what Tesla's doing right now. The event is going to be great. I think we're getting ready to bounce on Tesla. I've been saying it was going to drop for a while. And I've been right. And it's going to bounce right exactly where I say it's going to. Alex Garcia, I think CleanSpark is a good buy today. I think it is. If you don't have a lot of CleanSpark, I've got a decent chunk. So it's probably down 3% on the day because it says the bid is 1.28. So if you don't have any, it would be a good day to pick it up. And who knows, maybe I'll get some too. Andres, will be setting my alarm for tonight's Tesla event. You're rocking live stream? Hell yeah. We're there, dude. I'm going to love it from beginning to end. You'll get my take on it, and it's going to be a hell of a good time. Andres, it's 4 a.m. here in the Netherlands. Sorry. You know what? Just skip work, right? That's a European thing. Skip work tomorrow. Call in sick. Nobody will know. As long as you don't wear Tesla shirts and drive a Cybertruck, you're going to be fine. Mark LeBlanc, Beat the Denominator, a French guy that okay. Oh, yeah. No, I know who you're talking about. Sorry, I didn't know the acronym, but I think I might even subscribe to him. Mentions Evaluation Master, solid data. Cool. All right, I'll check it out. Mark LeBlanc mentioned this channel a week or so ago. Andres, cool, will be joining as usual. Hope the whole Micro to Macro crew will be there. I think we'll get a huge turnout for that. We're probably going to get a bunch of extra people. I mean, the morning show is we're getting almost 500 viewers now on this morning show alone, which is crazy. All right, I'm just going to check the Discord and see where we're at for membership. I can't believe that in not even 2 weeks, we've got 711 people in here. You guys are amazing. Seriously. All right, so let's go back. I want to talk Tesla. Let's do this now. So let me shrink this up. We kind of skip some of that. We'll go back to it. We'll check on broader markets here in a second. But I really want, I got to dial out a little bit. I really want to check Tesla. And we'll see. There might be some interesting stuff coming out here too. Looks like CNBC is talking about D. Shaw gets active in Air products. Things I don't give a fuck about. So we're going to move on. Tesla. All right, so let's get in here. So I do love this, and I think this is what's going to happen. And maybe I'm wrong, but I think this is what's going to happen. Holmar's catalog said, if I could have one wish, it would be for Tesla to launch their ride-hailing app for this product unveiling. He said supervised or unsupervised, doesn't matter to me. I agree. Even if I think actually it'll probably be supervised initially until they can get the hit rate to where it's or they'll only provide service in 45 mile an hour and under zones. But I would love it. If even with supervised, and maybe that's people sitting behind a terminal, maybe it's people in the car. I don't give a fuck. I would love for them to start the ride hailing because it's so good. I would say it's getting so comparable to Waymo, and Waymo needs HD mapping to make that shit work. And I think it's more intelligent than Waymo in a number of ways. And then we have all the October updates. I just got in my Cybertruck already 12.55, where I have end-to-end on the highway now, which is just awesome. And then now we're going to be getting additional updates that will improve everything by 6x and put the critical interventions to once every 10,000 plus miles, which is once a year. So we're getting to the point to where this thing, we're going to reach a point where we just accelerate on. Elon Musk posted this, and I post pretty much everything Elon Musk. What he's saying in here is that this guy just has won the Nobel Prize. And what he's saying, Jeffrey Hinton says, he's particularly proud that one of his students fired Sam Altman from OpenAI because he's much less concerned with AI safety than he is profits. I want to listen to this. It's 57 seconds.
I'd also like to acknowledge my students, I was particularly fortunate to have many very clever students, much cleverer than me, who actually made things work. They've gone.
I love this kind of teacher. I love it. This guy's a Nobel Prize laureate, and he's talking about his students doing better than him. I love that. Every teacher should aspire for that.
On to do great things. I'm particularly proud of the fact that one of my students fired Sam Altman. And I think I better leave it there and leave it for questions. So OpenAI was set up with a big emphasis on safety. Its primary objective was to develop artificial general intelligence and ensure that it was safe.
Which is why Elon Musk gave like what, $50 million was for that. He wanted safe above profits.
One of my former students, Ilya Sutskever, was the chief scientist. And over time, it turned out that Sam Altman was much less concerned with safety than with profits. And I think that's unfortunate.
I do too. Somebody said we need another political video from me, election video. Yeah, dude, there's so much interesting stuff going on between the polling right now. It shows Trump gaining tons of strength. There's also the edits that 60 Minutes did on their videos, and CBS edited videos too, to basically change responses for Kamala Harris and make them sound more intelligent than they were. Fascinating, weird stuff going on right now. Then there was the whole Joe Biden. I don't know if you guys heard about this. I'll talk about it real quick. I won't get too deep into politics here. But there's the whole Kamala Harris saying that DeSantis needed to reach out to her about the hurricanes and that he was ignoring her calls. Joe Biden responded when questioned about that with, we've been working with DeSantis, Ron, just fine. And we're doing a great job for him, and they're doing a great job getting prepared. And almost undermining Kamala Harris. There's also speculation that Joe Biden and his wife, or Joe Biden's wife, got in a heated argument with Kamala Harris because she thinks he's trying to undermine her campaign. And you have to realize, recently in the last week, he has done Tesla collapsing. Awesome, dude. He has done, Joe Biden has done press hearings at the same time as like the 60 Minutes release for Kamala Harris's interview, like her thing on The View. It's just weird. It's getting weird, and the numbers are weird, and it's fascinating. Tim Waltz would love it because it's so weird. But we will do that. We'll talk about that more later. All right, let's keep going. And then we'll look at Tesla collapsing. Oh, I got to show you this. Speaking of Tesla collapsing, look at these kids collapsing all over the place when they see the police version of a Cybertruck. This is so fucking cool. This is the future, guys. The kids are our future, and I can tell you what their view is. There was a kid with his hands over his mouth like he was going to cry. I have had kids cry because they get to see my truck and sit in it. Can you imagine that? Can you guys tell me what other automaker is out there that isn't like a Ferrari or a Lamborghini where a kid would cry? Can you tell me? The ex-Brazil story is not reported in Brazil. That's fascinating, Silas. So again, this is the story on X, guys. Also, Sawyer Merritt posted this yesterday. They're starting to put the walls up on the new Tesla semi factory to be able to expand production massively. Linda Yaccarino talking full interviews, unedited, authentic. That's X with community notes. She should have put it in there. In case you guys haven't seen the train, I highly encourage you to go out and look at the train. From Tesla, or from Starlink. There's over 7,000 of these satellites in space now. It's a thing to behold. And not just the train, but there's ones that will just pop up over the sky and then rotate over, and then you'll see another one pop up and another one, and then maybe you'll see some coming in different directions. And then if you're lucky, maybe you see a train. There's apps that can help you with this. We are living in the future right now, guys. Also, Elon steps in for Starlink activated for Hurricane Milton. So they went ahead and fast track direct to cell service and making sure that people can get help when they need it right away. Again, just You can hate Elon Musk, but I got a rapper who wants to talk about Elon Musk. We're going to listen to him in a second. And this from a political front. Listen to this. This is the Democratic governor of Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro. This is the person who should have been Kamala's running mate. If I would have picked anybody as a Democrat, I would have picked him, but he was a Jew, and you can't have the Jews, I guess. But this is fascinating right here. Listen to him.
Reporting that Elon Musk had a phone call with you about potentially investing in Pennsylvania. What can you tell us about that?
Well, let's be clear. Elon Musk and I have very different political views. He reached out to me through someone that is a great businessman, someone that I've worked with to bring manufacturing back to rural southwestern Pennsylvania, a gentleman named Thomas Tull, a great entrepreneur. Thomas and Elon were at the Steelers game together and called me about some ideas that Elon Musk has in investing in Pennsylvania, creating jobs and economic opportunity, and was pleased to hear him talk about it. We obviously didn't talk about politics. We
you didn't
focused,
talk about politics at
not
all?
at all. We focused on what I try and do every single day, which is bringing jobs and economic opportunity and growth to Pennsylvania, and I want to see more investment, especially in southwestern Pennsylvania.
Reporting that.
So first off, I love this. You've got to realize you've got now headlines with Elon Musk and Shapiro and Elon Musk looking to create jobs in Pennsylvania, the most powerful swing state. If Trump won this, he's got a 93% odds of winning the presidency for 2024. And then you see headlines where Elon Musk good Pennsylvania, and then you see Elon Musk saying vote for Donald Trump. So this is very fascinating too. And it just goes to show that Elon is building relationships. I showed you guys that CNN video yesterday afternoon. That was insane. Having an entire cast of liberals say that they fucked up with Elon Musk is pretty badass. Naval says robotaxis are going to get shockingly cheap, especially during off hours. I agree with that. We've got Alex saying Starlink Direct to Cell is basically a network of solar-powered cell towers. This is a 2-minute video. It's so cool. So this just gives you an idea of how badass all this is. I want to watch it, but we're going to do it in a second because I'm trying to find one video here. I mean, look at this. This is Elon Musk right here, guys. This is Elon Musk. I hope you realize the power of it. Again, We Robot Tonight. Let me see if I can find this video. Oh, right here, baby. Right here. Right here. This white-ass, ghetto-looking, crazy motherfucking rapper. Listen to what he has to say about how stupid Elon Musk is.
King of the idiots. Hey, Elon, the dumbest people on Earth think you're stupid.
They don't like you because you jump funny.
King of the idiots.
The idiot who sent rockets into space?
The idiot who created the largest made-in-America car manufacturer in decades?
The idiot who just gave free internet to the people who were hit by the hurricane?
The idiot who invented brain implants to cure neurological disorders?
The idiot with the IQ of like 160.
Maybe he's not the idiot.
Yeah, maybe you're the idiot.
Someone said this is the cringiest thing they've ever seen in politics.
Hey, you know what's cringy?
An entire generation of people who identify as autistic earthworms making fun of an autistic dude's jumping skills. That's cringy.
That's so cringe.
Hey, when the dumbest people on Earth call you an idiot, it says more about them than it says about you.
It's not rocket science.
Yeah, rocket science is what Elon does. You're just a keyboard warrior. It's not brain surgery.
Yeah, brain surgery is what Elon does. And what we do is make sweet music videos.
So go check out our new music video, Danger. It's out now.
Idiot.
These guys are fucking brilliant. This is brilliant marketing to piggyback off of everything going with the election, everything going on with Tesla for 1010, and then also plugging their own video. This dude is so brilliant. He's a crazy looking guy. Don't get me wrong, but he speaks the truth. There is a lot of truth in what he says. All right, so we got things dropping. Everybody's freaking out about dropping. Let's take a look at some drops here. I want, so hey, we do get a sell-off. Sweet. Oh, this is buy zone. This is buy zone. Okay, so let me, real quickly, guys, I'm just going to run over and make some purchases. Give me a second here. We're going to give you some music to listen to. We're going to, oh, hey, Larry Fink's going to be coming on.
Bitcoin.
I love Larry Fink.
Everything we always touch on.
And we have to ask
Well, I'm gonna buy some Tesla. Just give me a second.
about when you have these two candidates that have this tremendous, more budget busting, can we still grow out of the problem? At the same time, he's an optimist, and he's an optimist based on fact, not on some sort of touchy-feely stuff. I find him to be true north when it comes to investing.
Looking forward to that. Big Friday for earnings.
Yeah.
What is it, David?
Tesla just turned down for some reason, 3%. Sort of keeping an eye on it, obviously, for obvious reasons. We'll be covering the The
at the Warner
the
Brothers
unveiling later
theater there.
today of.
It's such a big thing. Tesla's so huge because if
not sure
they
why.
can really swing it, if they can make it so they have the data, we are not going to be driving our cars as nearly.
How does Jim Cramer get it? How is Jim Cramer the voice of fucking reason right now?
As much frequency, and
What is
taxis
happening?
Will just be so much cheaper.
What is
Waymo
happening?
down 30% from Uber, and Waymo's like it talks to you if you're out of line.
You've mentioned that.
Yeah,
How
it
about
talks to you. It doesn't happen. It's not happy when you put an executive producer in the trunk, drinking a Miller Lite or
That was
Butters, of
nice.
course.
All right, 23,000 in Tesla bought. I might do some more later.
Really shouldn't have done that to Regina.
what about tonight?
They didn't know. Who knew they had cameras in the trunk to see if you're in the trunk? I have an outfit called Samsara tonight. All it does is go up. It's a company that does telematics, and something that David's always been. Telematics is David's beat. I don't mean to.
So I got it for $44.90. I don't know what that's down on the day, 5-6%, whatever. I don't care. I got more. That's all I care about. It was a great opportunity to pick up more. I will go ahead and post that on X under the subscribers only and on Discord. And somebody asked about that earlier. So they asked about which one should you subscribe to. I mean, if you subscribe to YouTube, if you subscribe to X, and you subscribe to Discord, you're paying $12 a month. I think that's better than a Netflix subscription. I think it'll be more rewarding. But if you pay $2 for YouTube, you can comment. If you pay $5 for X, you'll be able to see my posts right away as I do them, which I think is valuable personally. And then Discord, if you want a community of badass people and access to all my charts, that's $5 too. So I don't know. That's what I do. Of calls in my favorite company. All right, there we go. Done. All right, so that's out there. Let's get back here because I do want to go over more Tesla stuff. So yeah, guys, let's look at the broader market. What's it all doing? Are we seeing a bunch of weakness? Tesla down big. Yeah, no, so that was the big one. Thank you guys for the heads up and chat. Like, seriously, I really appreciate you guys. Thank you, Scooter. Thank you, Trey Gotti. Thank you, all you guys, for continuing to say, like, hey, check this out. I really, really appreciate it. 64% down on my 1025 Tesla call. What is the strike price, Raul? See, I don't like short-dated shit. I mean, my stuff, dude, is, what is it, June of 2026? So I don't like short-dated stuff, bro. It's dangerous, right? Like, we know that the vast majority of options expire worthless. Why would you want to hold them close to the term? If you guys haven't watched my Option 101 video, watch it. Options are dangerous as fuck. You shouldn't get into them if you don't know what you're doing, and you should give yourself as much time as you can possibly give to not get wrecked, okay? Or just don't touch them at all. That is perfectly fine. It is okay to not be in options. Options, I find all too often, is the gambler's mentality. That's the link to my option video. Check it out. Again, if you're getting into options, give yourself a ton of time. Make sure your allocation size is right. Make sure that you're okay with losing all of it, because that's what can happen, right? You can lose all of it. And I find a lot of people aren't ready to lose all of it, or don't think they can. They think they got a sure bet, and they go for like a short time frame because they see big, pretty numbers. Do not be one of those people. It will wreck you, okay? So if you're going to touch options, be really smart and wise about it, or just stay the fuck away. You could buy just great companies and make shit tons of money. All right, so let's get back down here. So again, the Shapiro news was great. This direct to sell, I want to watch this video. So I think now is your time, guys. Now is the time to buy the fucking dip on Tesla. It's right now. It's right now. This is it. This is the opportunity I talked about yesterday. So it looks like instead of a 2% drop, you get over a 3%. But now look at it. We're already finding support on peak or on the fib. We're going to be finding support on this downward resistance line that's almost 3 years old, which coincides perfectly with the 200 weekly moving average. This is your time. If you wanted to get more Tesla, this is it. Okay? This is it. This is when I would buy. Personally. That's just me. And I mean, I literally fucking did that. So, yeah. All right. Anyway, back over here. All right, I want to show you this direct to sell. I want to show you this tech. It's so cool. Ooh, is that loud?
A little over a year ago, with our partner SpaceX, we announced a common vision to put an end to dead zones.
For the first time ever, we will have
This is just so fucking cool.
connectivity regardless of where we are.
There's still 500,000 square miles of this country that aren't covered by any terrestrial network. That means we aren't connecting people in those areas. Nobody's connecting people in those areas.
When you're out far enough from being able to get help quickly, it crosses your mind a little more, where you're not going to have a cell signal for the entire day.
Even just twisting an ankle somewhere out in the wilderness can be the end of you.
So this is a massive milestone in our journey to bring coverage to areas that have not been possible to cover before. It's exactly like a cell phone tower in space, except there's no tower, just a satellite.
It's flying at 17,000 miles per hour, so you can imagine the challenges of trying to play ping pong as something is moving that fast.
And there's over 7,000 of these in space.
This technology did not exist a year ago. With the telecom expertise from T-Mobile, combined with the satellite technology from SpaceX, it's reality now.
SpaceX will be launching satellites that will be capable of communicating with T-Mobile cell phones.
And you don't need to buy anything new. The technology that you need to connect to this service is in your pocket.
We will keep on pushing the boundaries of this technology. We will start with messaging, and then we'll go from there to look at other opportunities in data and voice. That's definitely our goal.
Did you hear that? With data and voice, guys, they're going to make it to where, especially in rural areas that are hard to get to, you won't in the future, you won't even need a cell phone service. I just want to be clear, you won't. Tesla could build out towers in big metro areas to be able to pick up signals and then broadcast them locally, or they just partner with these other companies. But I think essentially you're going to see the price of cell phone and data usage across these mobile devices plummet in the years ahead. And there's one company doing it. And who runs it? Well, I mean, he doesn't run it. He's got an awesome lady who runs it. But it's Elon Musk. It's always Elon Musk. It will always be Elon Musk until the day he dies. That's the companies you want to invest in.
The combination of what we're both good at is actually making each of us stronger and creating something together that is unprecedented.
The proof is in the pudding only after you've launched them in space. I'm overexcited about that. It's going to be a huge moment.
Bringing this service to the world is really going to change the trajectory of communications.
We're going to finally get towards fulfilling that ultimate mission of connecting our customers everywhere.
Go for launch.
All right, so Lyft asked a really good question, and I want to answer it. He said, "Do you think that Tesla will release a cell phone? Why wouldn't they? They could literally team up with themselves with Starlink. All of these services are going to bleed into each other. All these companies are going to bleed into each other. So why wouldn't they offer their own cell phone? Elon has already made it very clear to Apple's CEO that 30% software fees, like right now, guys, if you sign up for X on mobile and don't do it on the web app, they take 30% of the fucking money between Android and Apple. They take 30% of the money and keep it for themselves every month. For what? For a store that could be decentralized? There's no need for that. That fee should be like 1% or 2%. And it will be. And it will be because Tesla will create their own phone, their own store. They'll plummet the rates, and companies like Apple and Google will be fucked. That's my prediction. So, and then people like me will benefit from them getting fucked because we won't be getting fucked. And imagine the mobile software development world when they can keep 30% more of their margins. It'll be huge, okay? It'll be huge. So Dima says, Elon Musk ventures aim to benefit humanity. Again, this is the guy they want you to hate. This is the guy that even CNN is having a hard time hating lately with a bunch of hardcore liberals that want to hate him, but they can't because he's helping people. Tesla, sustainable energy. SpaceX, Life Multiplanetary, Starlink, global internet and access and emergencies and everything, and lowering the cost of all of these things across every one of these. Neuralink, brain injuries and AI-related risks. Boring Company, traffic solutions. X, free speech. X, AI, understanding the universe. Who in history can say that they're doing these things? I mean, this is one of these people throughout history that's on the earth that is a 1 in 100, 1 in 1,000 year human beings. And people bet against him? Idiocy. Just pure fucking stupidity and ignorance. I have no respect for people that feel that way. When I hear them talk, I just think they're a fool. All right. I think that's it for Tesla. We might have one other here that I skipped. Let me just see here. I'm sure there's a bunch more. There's just so much going on. Oh yeah, Barron's. Tesla's behind the robotaxi. Why Musk must overtake rivals and 5 other things to know. Again, just a joke. Tesla's behind on robotaxi. They post this shit like a day and a half before the unveiling. Pure stupidity. Okay? Super dumb people. Again, the wave is coming. You guys are either going to be on it. This is just Tesla. Just Tesla. You guys are either going to be on it or you're going to watch from the sidelines. You guys do you. I really don't give a shit. For people who missed it yesterday, you just got to listen to this. These are Democrats that want to hate Elon Musk. They want to hate him. They want to hate him because of his political leanings. And this is what they have to say in the end.
And I think where the Democrats started to lose Elon was actually personal. We should have celebrated his contributions to electric vehicles, even though he was against unionization instead of
demonizing him. You think?
To unions, we should have said, "Look, Starlink, great product. That needs to be used." We should celebrate the fact that he's had the first commercial success of private people in space, and I think a lot of it was that we didn't celebrate it, and he felt offended.
He does get a lot of attention. I'm genuinely curious. I mean, was there something, do you think, that Democrats did? What was the thing? What was the thing that they did
I got a call from him about it when he wasn't invited to that EV summit. He should have been invited.
That lady used to praise Elon Musk all the time. She's very, very liberal, but she's right about this. Listen to her.
I called the White House. I never call the White House. And I'm like, why didn't you invite him? He's very angry. And in fact, I had an interview with Pete Buttigieg at the time, who also was a little bit glib about it. And I was like, he's critically important in this sector. I think the union thing was the big deal of why they didn't invite him, and they should have. He deserved that credit for what he's been doing.
And then people were tweeting out about his private flights and him taking a private plane.
No.
I'm sorry,
I don't think Democrats.
See, listen, I'm going to disagree with you on Starlink completely.
Get blamed for that.
No, I'm just saying that, look, and I think he should stay off Twitter. I certainly think he shouldn't be making jokes about the vice president. But I think with the Democrats, remember, he was a supporter of Obama. Bill Clinton, Obama had this. And we are the party that is John F. Kennedy, that is about innovation, that is about entrepreneurship.
They didn't initially give him the tax credit.
We should be celebrating that part of it.
There's a weird...
Yeah, so right here, you actually have them going like, we fucked up. Isn't that amazing to listen to that on CNN of all places, let alone a panel of liberals who are like, I think we screwed up. We're going to watch. So somebody asked for a Lieberman video on here. I'm going to find that real quick. So this is what the Democratic Party is talking about doing, okay? This is what radicals... This guy used to be considered like, I don't know, a serious journalist. Listen to what he's saying right now needs to happen to Elon Musk. Think about all the accomplishments we talked about. And when you go and vote in November, I want you to listen to this, okay?
Time to cancel
Remember this.
all the contracts and reassess his immigration status and hopefully deport him the hell out of the country. And if we can't do that by conventional means, President Biden, you have presidential immunity. Get Elon Musk the F out of our country and do it now. Time to...
So I guess this guy doesn't even live in a free country anymore. At all. It's not complimentary. It's way better than that. You guys are both wrong. Sealess, Michael, I'm going to completely disagree with you here. What are the speeds of Starlink satellites? Have you guys used them for mobile purposes at all? Have you guys, like, taken them in an RV? Used any of that? You should probably check it out. You should probably make sure that you understand it a little bit better. It's not just a gap filling service. That's not remotely accurate. It can do a lot more. Now, don't get me wrong. Will it be better than high-speed solutions without putting in towers in major metro areas and having some kind of physical ground connectivity? It will not be better than them ever. It won't be without doing that. But I think you got to look at what's going to happen in the future. And they can do that. They can build out some physical infrastructure combined with the 7,000. Eventually, they're going to have like 14, 20,000 of these things in space. They can get you high-speed internet now. And they can do it mobily, driving 90 miles an hour down a fucking road and get you just as good service as you would get with your cellular provider. Now, again, will you get the super high, like fiber optic cable speeds? You're not going to. But you can do almost anything with it. Yeah, no, again, yeah, within reason, yeah, of course. If you're going to have it in your house, you're going to have it on the outside. If you're going to have it in a car, you're going to have it to where you can, or an RV, you're going to put it on top. Yes, you're right. You can't use it for that. That is true. But internet for your entire house? Yes. If you have it integrated with a phone, I don't know, again, what you would have to do in order to be able to get it to where you could get it to work. But I think they're going to be able to do it. I do. And I could be wrong, but I think they're going to be able to do it. I think they'll be able to build out cell phones where they can still get these things to connect, and maybe they do it with towers that are more local. But I think they can do it. I mean, look right now, 5G. There's 5G towers all around me because of the city that I'm living in. They have to have them locally everywhere for that internet and connectivity to work. Right? So if they're doing that same thing with infrastructure physically right now to get it to where the cellular carriers can do this stuff, why can't Elon do it and integrate it with Starlink? I would see them do it all. That's my point. Not that it's here, but that's what I will see. All right, let's back up. Let's look here. What else we got? It looks like right now Fed Goolsby overall trend shows inflation has come down a lot. Okay, I actually like Goolsby. I want to hear him. Let's go to live.
Which is to say, we did gonna
bloop, 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 bloop,
The
bloop.
tornadic activity was surprising in this storm.
All right, let's see what Fed
Several
Goolsby has to say.
point out that the tornadic activity was
reports. We had them last, I
Here we go.
believe, when the jobs report came out. So, yeah, thanks for your courage.
Oh, real quickly. So you said what? Tesla's down 2%? I just want to see what we're sitting at. One second. All right, so I think I said this a second ago, but what does it look like we're doing? This is the 200 moving average right here in orange, right? And what does it look like we're doing? Does it look like we're finding support perfectly where we need to be? Yes, that's exactly what we're doing. All right, back to Goolsby.
Here, Austin. Let's get down to this data here. CPI, I don't know, a little bit on the higher side, on the hotter side, mildly so anyway. Your reaction to that, combined with the pop-up in claims that we saw this morning?
Yeah, so I've used it at high rates of speeds in vehicles. I've used it at remote locations, and it's fucking amazing. It's amazing, and it works great. Again, can it penetrate your house? No. To have a cell phone, would they need to have localized towers? Yes, I said that already. But the latency isn't even that bad. What is your argument about why it won't work? If they had towers in a localized region that linked with Starlink, and they had a ground connectivity solution and in space, why wouldn't that work, Silas? Tell me.
Yeah, look, Steve, every time we talk, I always say, let's not get worked up out of one report. These are noisy series. Inflation came in around what people were expected. There was improvement on the housing front on inflation that was masked a little bit by deterioration on the goods front. But the overall trend is what's important, not the day-to-day fluctuations. And the overall trend over 12, 18 months is clearly that inflation has come down a lot, and the job market has...
Yeah, I like Goolsby. He's such a simple talker and just a plain dude, and he's right.
...has cooled to a level which is around where we think full employment is, and we'd like to get both of them to stay kind of in the space where they are right now. And that's what I'm thinking about. That's what everybody's thinking about when we're trying to set policy.
Also, when you talk about setting policy and kind of looking through the data, Are you still in a process here, or will you be over the next, say, several meetings in a process here of trying to use the word that the chair has used, recalibrate policy to take account for the prior decline in inflation?
In a way, it depends what the definition. As you know, the rules of the FOMC, I only speak for myself, and I'm speaking for anybody, and certainly not for the chair. I found myself in total agreement with the spirit of what the chair said in the press conference, which is, as I view what's happened, we've gone through a long period where we had almost exclusive attention to the inflation side of the mandate because we had to. Inflation was way higher than the target, and the job market was white hot and extremely strong. And we've shifted now to a more normal environment, a balanced risk environment, where we got to think about both sides of the mandate, maximizing employment and stabilizing the prices. And when the hardest thing, as I always say, the hardest thing that the central bank has to do is to try to get the timing right when there's these moments of transition. And so, to me, it's been a series of close call type meetings, and there'll probably be more close call type meetings. But we get to meet every 6 weeks precisely because we want to get it right and not get too far ahead or too far behind.
So close call can have a double meaning depending upon what you're talking
They're not worried about inflation.
about. 25 or 50, it was a closer call. We learned from the minutes yesterday than we thought between 25 or 50. Now the market is thinking about, well, the two sides of that coin are to hike by a quarter or to pause. Is it possible, Austin, that the Fed would skip a meeting, at least among the next couple ones?
You know, I'm never going to tie our hands on what we're going to do when we still got a lot of data coming in and we're trying to figure out what's going on. And I want to hear from what my colleagues have to say there at the FOMC. But nothing's ever not on the table. We're always thinking about the conditions that we've seen and what's coming in. We're consulting with business leaders and civic and community leaders around. We're looking at the beige book type information, trying to figure out what the circumstance is. So I don't think anybody should be stressed out.
I get that.
We consider all possibilities.
No,
Yeah, and they're not worried about inflation.
Get that, Austin. The question becomes, yes, yesterday the minutes showed that some Fed officials preferred to move more gradually. Lori Logan from Dallas used that phrase explicitly. Can you get where should you get where you're going gradually, or do you need to get there more quickly? Which is to say, we did 50. Is that still on the table? What's the best way to think about the pace here?
Well, rather than get wrapped up in a kind of a market timetable of this meeting was 25 and will that meeting be 50 or contemplate 0, the minutes.
Yeah, I don't know why people would buy Truth Social DJT for because Trump is doing better election wise, but I do think you're probably right, Elizabeth. That's probably what's happening. It sounds like it's up 15% today. That's absolutely insane, man. Join late, more Tesla leaps, Jesse. I bought 5 already. I'm trying to buy 2 right now, Amit.
At moments of transition like this, often show that there's diversity of thought in the committee. Look, it's not just this minutes. Look at many of the previous minutes have shown that. Everybody's trying
I'm
to
sorry,
look
I'm
through
sorry, Austin,
the
but
short run. And yeah.
I get that. I'm sorry, but fixed income instruments have dates on them, so we have to, people are really concerned about things like timing, and so that's why we ask those questions.
Look, I'm not, Steve, I'm not faulting you. I understand. That's the market business model, is to react instantly and with great force as the data come in. The central bank, in my view, has got to take the longer view and take the SEP dot plots. They come out every 3 months. We don't talk to each other. They're independent observations. It's clear that the vast majority of the FOMC in the dot plots believes that over the next 12 to 18 months, conditions continue to slowly and gradually improve to something like target, and rates gradually come down a fair amount to something well below where they are today. That, to me, That's by far the most important thing, rather than is this 0, 25, or 50 in the next couple of weeks.
I'll ask it a different
Go
way.
ahead, Sarah. Sorry.
It's Sarah. Hi, President Goolsbee.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi. Since your last meeting, when you did a 50 basis point cut, the unemployment rate has come down to 4.1%. Wages have come up to 4%. Services activity also accelerating in September to almost 55. And the Atlanta Fed GDP is now estimating 3.2% growth for the third quarter. So if you are truly data dependent, what does that lead you to believe you should be doing?
I mean, you cherry-picked numbers. We also got an
Aren't those the
increase
most
in unemployment claims.
Nice.
We also saw progress on the inflation side on housing. We saw deterioration on the goods side of on inflation. So there's a lot of cross currents. Data dependent does not mean that we should base the monetary policy decision at the next meeting on what the last month's data show. And that's what I just want to emphasize. We got to take a longer through line to figure out what's going on. And we want to be both forward-looking and taking account of the conditions that we got in. It's as simple as that.
Yes, but not, and you know where I stand here, but not to be too backward-looking, but I think still some people are scratching their heads about why you went 50 at the last meeting, given this economic backdrop. I know there's a lot of progress on inflation, but
Maybe because there was almost 2 months in between meetings.
it sort of blurs the reaction function a little bit, because when I think 50, I think, okay, you did that during COVID, you did that during the financial crisis. Like, you do a double when you're really worried about something.
Well, Sarah, the meeting before that, it's literally just 60 days before we get a single jobs reading that was decidedly negative. And on this very network, we have people saying the Fed is far behind and should cut by 150 basis points by the next meeting. So I just want to caution everybody, let's settle down. When one month's numbers come in, that's not what we should be basing the monetary policy on. We should be basing it on the long arc. I was comfortable with sending a signal that the period where we're putting 100% or close to 100% weight on the getting inflation down part of the mandate, that was a chapter, and we've largely moved out of that chapter. Now we're in a chapter where we got to think about the balance of risks on both sides of the mandate. And if you're close between 0 and 25, and then at another meeting you're close between 25 and 50, and then at another meeting you're close between other things, there are no fractional cuts. So let's take it in a totality over a longer period.
Yeah, Austin, just to follow up on Sarah's question there, a big part of when you appeared with us last time was risk to the employment mandate side of the mandate. And
all right, good
what
question.
happened in the last report was not only were you higher above the estimate of a big number, 250, you revised up the prior 2 months. So I think one way to get at understanding your thinking for our viewers here, Austin, is lay out the risks for us as you see it. Do you have the same kind of concerns that you had about the employment mandate that you had when you met with us last time? Did the jobs report from September change that risk at all? Lay out the risk to inflation. Are you still concerned, by the way, about inflation being a little bit higher than the target?
Yeah, I mean, look, our job is to be concerned about everything. As we get numbers that illustrate, if they continue to illustrate that unemployment is not deteriorating, it is kind of stabilizing at a steady state full employment level, that will relieve some of my concerns about what the dangers are. That, as I described back then, the question is, can we hold here at a something like a neutral full employment rate, or are we going to crash through that, as might have happened in previous business cycles? And that's the thing that I'm trying to wrap my head around. And the more numbers that come in, like the jobs number last month, and it's not just unemployment and payroll reports. Let's keep our eye on the vacancy to unemployment rate. Let's keep our eye on the quit rate.
Looks like we had Dan Ives talking Tesla too, so right after this we'll jump into that.
Hiring rate and a lot of measures of the job market. If they're stable, I'm going to be less concerned about that.
Austin, I appreciate that. Here's a question, though. You did not bring up this phrase that's been out there, this notion of passive tightening, that if you don't adjust rates, that you essentially get tighter because inflation has fallen so much. How much does the idea of undoing or avoiding additional passive tightening animate your view on policy over the next several meetings?
On the next several meetings, less than, I've been talking about that idea of passive tightening.
Yeah.
That we set the rate high and we held it there for more than a year as inflation came down. So that was tightening. Now, as the Fed has been moving, the passive tightening is not as relevant, is not as big a component. And like I say, I just refer you to the SEP dots. There's a big majority of people saying they see conditions slowly settling down at steady state kind of levels on unemployment and inflation. And the big outlier that is not yet anywhere close to where it's supposed to settle down is on rates. So over a 12 to 18 month period, I think we're going to gradually, whatever word you want to use, move to a more steady state. We're trying to freeze the dual mandate performance basically exactly where it is right now. That would be a very good outcome. So I think the passive tightening is less relevant in a world where the inflation has already come down almost fully to target, and the rates are coming down more to match that.
Like he said, he doesn't care about inflation.
Okay, Austin,
let's move on.
Thank you very much.
Want to get to Dan Ives.
Overall,
here we go.
Has been rallying lately, still
Here we
negative
go.
for the year and down a little over 1% right now. Our next guest is in Los Angeles. He's getting ready to attend the We Robot event tonight and calls this a quote, seminal and historic day for Musk and Tesla. Wedbush's Dan Ives.
Currently less than 100% or 1% loss after that interview.
He's here to discuss. Of course, has an outperform rating on Tesla. Our viewers know you're a bull. Dan.
And I bought like 35,000 worth, I think, this morning at a pretty good discount.
What are we going to get? Are we going to get info on cost per mile overall, scaling the Cybercab? Are we going to get info on whether they have a ride-sharing app or insurance costs? I don't know. I want some details here. Are you going to get them?
Yeah, I think it's actually going to be heavy on details. I think importantly,
agreed.
This is really showing autonomous, in terms of true autonomous, as we go to level 4, level 5. This is really going to be a game changer for Tesla. And I think they're going to show on Cybercab and the roll-up, I think by the end of next year, this is something within certain cities that will be, ultimately a reality. And I think when you actually start to go through per mile and you look at miles driven, I think from a fleet perspective, even relative to what we see with Waymo and everyone else, I think it's a new chapter for Tesla. You do not walk away, shrug the shoulders. I think
they got to get a Kathy Wood on here too.
You do. All right. So do you think you're going to walk away with enough information to put a model together, a discounted cash flow model or something based on your own assumptions in terms of where this thing goes, that you can start to come to a number in terms of per share as to what it's going to mean for the company?
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's really, okay, what's the timetable? Now, clearly, obviously, some of the promises in the past have not worked out here. I think we're talking not just by the end of next year, but what's the ramp over the next few years, 3 to 4 years? What could that mean in terms of for the
He's too bearish.
6 million cars out there, potentially 8 or 10 over the next few years? What ultimately does that mean? This is pure margins. This is really building out a whole new business for
a pure
Tesla.
Margin.
And I think we could be looking at something based on our math, 3-4 years out. This could be 20-30% overall profits.
20 to 30% overall profits for of the company's profits will be from their effort here. I mean, you say that it's
faster than that.
It represents $1 trillion of value for Tesla over the coming years. How do you get to that number?
I mean, I just look at FSD, look at autonomous relative to cars on the road. This is not just for Tesla. It's our view that they're ultimately going to OEM this technology. And when you look at even some of the numbers out there, I mean, we could be talking about 10, 20 billion annually per year that they're starting to ultimately deliver when this ultimately gets to scale. And I don't view this necessarily as a massive threat to Uber, but just look what Uber did in rideshare. So I think when we look at the broader market here and ultimately the software-driven,
It's an existential crisis for Uber.
and the margins, I view this will be a day we look back at 3-4 years from now that actually start to change the next phase of the Tesla story.
You don't worry, Dan, about the regulatory approval needed for autonomous vehicles on a state-by-state basis, which is where they're given. I guess 29 states and Washington, D.C. currently have autonomous vehicle operation mandates. And I guess there are certain friendlier states like Texas. But isn't that a factor here?
Oh, clear. Look, I think David's question on the cost per mile, that's something I'd expect to hear about. And that's important in terms of what we're looking at. Regulatory is the biggest hurdle. And I think that's something state by state on the federal side, they're going to have work cut out for them. But that is something, I think it starts tonight, but over the coming 12, 18, 24 months, I think regulatory ultimately is something that they're going to be able to sort of navigate through.
Easily.
And I think that's the important thing tonight. Not
Easily.
Just the technology.
Easily. You don't think states like Texas, with the Governor Abbott loving Elon Musk and wanting to encourage, you don't think states like Florida, you don't think states that really want more business from Elon Musk are going to say, hey, yeah, in this city, let's go ahead. As long as the safety's good, let's get started now.
Showing how we get there, what the roadmap is.
Well, Dan, we're going to be listening closely, and I'm sure we'll have you on to tell us your thoughts about what you heard. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I guess Dan's bearish on Tesla, more so than I.
Meantime, check out shares of Trump Media rallying 15% and on pace for 5 positive days in 6. Shares have soared 45%
That's insane.
over the past week. We'll get some more on the big.
I don't know why people would be buying that.
Living adjustment in 2025 to.
So this is fascinating. So Social Security goes up another 2.5%. I think that's one thing. So we had the cost of goods going up, especially for like things like Social Security. People were getting, what was it, double-digit gains because of the inflation that happened after the pandemics, or at least close to it. And then now you're starting to see goods rolling over a little bit, but people still get to keep some of that. And then if Trump gets elected, they'll get to keep they won't get taxed on their Social Security benefits. Overtime people won't get taxed on their overtime. Again, you could just see spending taking off and lifting so much and see so much growth heading into next year if things align properly. I'm just very excited about where we could be depending upon what happens in the next month here with the elections. I think it could be very beneficial for everybody. Guys, I'm a little wasted, I think. I know I've only been doing it 2.5 hours, but I'm tired. I think I'm going to probably call it here. I'm trying to make these things shorter anyway. I don't care what's happening with DJT. We already got the bounce on Tesla. I think all the signal to be found today has probably been found. We can grind at this level for a little bit. It doesn't really matter. This is the bottom. And in my eyes, unless they just totally fuck up this event tonight, which I don't think is going to be a possibility, they wouldn't be talking about it so highly if it wasn't going to be amazing. Some of these other events that haven't turned out so well, the promotion just wasn't there for it, and the excitement wasn't there for it, and you didn't hear the teams talking about it. And Elon Musk was in a really bad place for a while too. You got to realize, guys. I don't know if you've noticed his disposition lately, but he's really got the "I don't give a fuck" attitude, and he seems in better spirits than he's been in a long time. Even though he's got again, he's siding with the guy that shall not be named, and that's so difficult to side with if you're in the tech sector. Or big into Silicon Valley, but he's been doing it, and I don't know. It seems like there's a release, and like he just doesn't care anymore, and he knows what he needs to be doing. And even again, if we look at the AI team, guys, it's amazing, absolutely amazing, to see that they met their September goals as strong, as big as vast as they were, and now I've already gotten. Not only did I get full self-driving on my Cybertruck, I've had 2 updates since that have already improved the drive remarkably. And now we're set here in the next 2.5 weeks to get a version of it that is 6x better in regard to interventions. And I can't even imagine what that looks like. So I don't know. If you don't believe the robotaxi story is real, maybe you've just never been in a full self-driving Tesla or one with hardware 4, or just seen what they're capable of and what they can do. But it's amazing, and people will catch up eventually. And I think that's the big story for today. Again, China market bouncing, stay the fuck away. Donald Trump's Truth Social, stay the fuck away. Palantir, maybe you should sell some and buy Tesla. Economic data looked bad in the beginning, right? But in actuality, it looks great, at least in regard to the inflation data. If you take out the seasonal adjustments, it's right in line with where we want it to be. Hurricane Milton, not the end of the world. And the event tonight, we're going to be starting at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. And it's so about a half an hour before it kicks off. We'll talk about Tesla. We'll look at the stock. Anything new that's come up that's really interesting, we'll go over. I'll fanboy the shit out of it. And then we'll go in and we'll see what it's all about, and we'll see what happens with the stock afterwards. You know where I think it's headed. And like I said in my last video, I really don't give a shit if it's a day, a week, a month, or even a quarter. I don't fucking care. Q4 is historically very bullish for Tesla. I showed you how they had the best week in China they've ever had by a large margin, like by almost 5,000 vehicles. And then there was a holiday for the next one, so that one was lower, but whatever. But again, on all metrics, on all fronts, fundamental, macro, financial, and technical, it all looks good. So that's why I picked up another, 7 contracts today, is for that reason. So I think we'll see whether or not I was right tonight. We'll see whether or not my $1 million in call options ends up blessing me or not. Million plus, probably like 1.1 right now. Anyway, yeah, if you guys could hit the like, thank you, Silas. That would be great. Otherwise, you have a wonderful day, and I appreciate the almost 500 people that were here again today. These market opens are going really good. Normally, I would do the stock tickers in the market recap, but I don't know if that's happening today with everything that's going on, guys. I've got an absolutely crazy day. I got to get tickets for the Theo Von thing over to my nephew. There's the funeral. There's more stuff than trying to fit in the market recap. I don't think works. Then my daughter has a taekwondo pizza party thing for doing well with their competition. She got first place in sparring out of 15 kids. So she's a little badass, and I love that. The other kid, she was crying. I had to go up and apologize to her and tell her she did a good job because my daughter whooped her ass so good. But yeah, lots going on. And then tonight, for sure, we're going to have a hell of a time, guys. So make sure you show up tonight. And I'll try and get some cool thumbnails on the YouTube video, and we'll get it broadcast on X too. I love you guys. I appreciate all of the dialogue. I appreciate all of your guys' passion. I appreciate all of the support that you guys bring every single day. Like I said, I'll check into what we can do to make TradingView watch lists better. I'll try and build those out. I'll build out a bunch of extra charts on the Discord. We'll add new channels if we need to talk about topics like Starlink. And then at the same time, I'll try and get that Truflation subscription. I'll subscribe to Kobayashi and see if anything gets interesting out of that. And I'll take a look at FinBiz and see if there's anything I can find that's uniquely valuable about that. But we're going to have some fun, guys. We're going to grow. We're going to get a lot better in the future. And again, we're going to get chapters coming, all this stuff. It's just a lot on a plate, so we got to figure out how to balance it all. But it's going to be a fun time, and I love you guys. And I will see you later. And again, we got to go out this way, I think, today, because it's Robotaxi Day. And I mean, how do you not do this? How do you not do this? Peace out.
Under development by Elon Musk's Tesla Inc. is sparking concerns around job security.
This is not financial advice, silly.
Robot just stole my job. I'm there like, oh my god. I blame it on Elon. He's taking all I got.
Turned up to work and went to start my day. Was barely late,
like 9:08.
So took my coffee break. Then I got hungry, so I just stopped by the free buffet. But then to my dismay, I heard somebody say,
Attention humans, you have lost, you have not met your quota. Pack your belongings in a box, now it's over.
Robot just stole my job. I'm there like, oh my god. I blame it on Elon. He's taking all I got. But I'm in management. I work hard every day. I need these benefits, health and 401k. How could they do this shit though? Where will I trade my crypto? I had a second monitor for Twitter. Where will it go? Somebody please stop the bus. I mean, not the fuss, but there's lots of us. And now you say you won't pay me to play ping pong because Optimus. I mean, who employs a damn humanoid? Some new droid for you to exploit, deploy to destroy your human droid. No lunch breaks, great, get a few deployed.
Your time is up, human inferior to me. I'll take it from here, you're relieved of your duty.
Robot just stole my job. I'm there like, oh my god. I blame it on Elon. He's taking all I got. Robot just stole my job. I'm there like, oh my god. I blame it on Elon. He's taking all I got.
It's okay, human, please don't cry. You can always go and become a Twitter thread guy. Make pretty pictures with Midjourney on your new PC. Or make some YouTube videos about ChatGPT. Sucker.
Robot just stole my job. I'm there like, oh my god. I blame it on Elon. He's taking all I got. Robot just stole my job. I'm there like, oh my god. I blame it on Elon. He's taking all I got.